Welcome to the live Q&A. If you guys are into Pokemon cards, if you're into collecting, buying and selling, the market, grading cards, and everything in between, this is the place to be. This is a live Q&A where you guys can ask me all of your questions related to Pokemon cards, and we hang out here, have a good time in the chat, network, and all that good stuff. We're going to start it off, but before that, I just want to let you guys know, if you are new here, check out the form in the description down below. That is where you can ask me all of your questions. It's the first link down there. Instructions are there. You guys can attach photos and everything like that if it helps out with the question. Now, we're going to dive into something before we get started here, and it is on everybody. It's fresh on everybody's minds. And good morning to everybody as well. Thank you guys so much for being here. This is fresh on everybody's mind right now. Hidden Fates has a confirmed reprint. And it's going to be just for the tins. That is all that's been confirmed right now is the tins. So what does that mean exactly? And all the details regarding that. I'm going to jump into that and give you guys my thoughts on it because I know a lot of you are wondering what's going on. There's a lot of people that are excited. There's a lot of people that are scared. There's a lot of people that have no idea what to think. So Hidden Fates, if you guys don't know, is one of the best modern sets in recent history for Pokemon, period. Collecting wise, it has the shiny vault. There's so many awesome Pokemon in that set, and people love opening it. I know myself as well. I love opening that set. So with this Hidden Fates reprint, it's actually a third reprint that they're doing right now, and people that have bought this product are now they're getting really nervous, right? Because they're thinking that the prices on this stuff is going to tank. So my point of view, and from what I've been told from my distributors, are that they can't, they're allocating Hidden Fates right now. And if you guys don't know what that means, it basically means that they're not getting enough in from Pokemon that's going to be printed to be able to supply everybody. So what that means is, I think it's still going to be tough to get for you guys. And it's still, the demand is still huge on it. So I personally, I'll tell you guys what I'm doing is, the second print run, I was able to get some. And the third print run, my distributor told me the details. And he also told me that it's going to be a limited print run as well. That's what Nintendo has said. Another like one-time deal. So I put my order in, and they told me, they kind of laughed a little bit. Not really laughed, but they were just like, I don't think we're going to be able to get you your order. There's like a 0% chance, and we're going to get you as much as we can, which is not going to be a lot at all. So to put it in perspective, they told me that the amount of orders, just something like this, and the amount that they're going to get in is like way down here. So Hidden Fates, I still think it's going to be very difficult to find, and I'm buying more of it, right? So that's what I'm doing. And this is just a little article here. We got some good news for Pokemon fans. We're happy to confirm that we'll be receiving a reprint of Hidden Fates tins. We expect to get these tins sometimes in September, early October. So that's the other thing. My distributor told me mid-September is when we're expecting to get these. So pretty soon, a little bit over a month from now, right? So keep that in mind. If you guys have any more questions about Hidden Fates, overall, very exciting, right? Because we can open up more Hidden Fates on the channel. That's just like another opportunity to buy into Hidden Fates, get some packs, open them up. I know like so many people in the UK have not been able to open packs up. So many people around the world want to get these packs and these tins. So it's another print run, guys, and I'm excited for it overall. So yes, a UK release. Jordan, I see you with the question there. Absolutely. And yeah, I see you guys asking questions in the chat right now, so make sure you go over to the Google form. It's in the description down below. That's where you can ask your questions. We're going to start off with the first question of the morning. And good morning if you just joined up here. We're diving in to some questions. We're going to be answering all of your guys' questions that you have related to Pokemon cards. This is the place to be, the place to hang out and relax and have a good time. So we're going to start off with the first question from Steve. The category is under other. The question is, hey, PokeRev, I wanted to ask you, do you think the first edition Charizard would grade? What do you think the first edition Charizard would grade at PSA? It's off center on the front and back, but the hollow is clean and the only tiny white marks are on the back. Thanks. So we got a question for a first edition base set Charizard, and we want to see what it's going to get graded. So Steve, let's pull this up. You have photos here. So what I can do is I can actually show you guys Steve's photos. So this is actually really cool. So check this out. This is actually a first edition base set Charizard. If you guys don't know, it's the most valuable card that you can pull from a pack, right? So not including trophy cards and things like that that are not attainable through packs. This is the card. So right away, I can actually zoom in here too. I can show you guys a little bit closer This is the peak of the peak. This is the card that everybody wants. It has the first edition stamp there. As we can tell from the photo, the holo looks clean, but it's tough to say with the type of lighting. But I can tell you right away, you're on point with the centering here about it being off. This centering, as you can see down here, the bottom border is a lot thicker than the top. And that's actually more thicker down, a lot more thicker than up here. And the grading scale for that is going to have to be a PSA 8 off the bat. So what I could do is I could actually pull you guys up the PSA grading scale, and I could show you, because we're all learning here, right? So I want to show you guys exactly why I would say it would get an 8 right off the bat without even looking at the back. Just an automatic 8. It can go lower depending on the back of the card. So centering must be approximately 65-35 to 70-30 or better, right? So what does that mean, right? So, and on the back, 90-10. So basically the back can be almost completely off center and still be an 8. So you don't have to worry about the back centering once you get down to an 8. But this would for sure be 70. It's probably looking like 80-20 at this rate. So 80% down there, 20% up there is my guesstimate. So if we look at that and we look at 80-20, it's actually even lower than the standards for an 8. So it could drop even to a 7 from the centering, but I'm going to say about an 8 from what I have seen with centering and stuff like this. This could be around an 8 on the front, but then we look here, we got another photo. So another shot of this. The holo actually does look really clean, but again, it's tough to tell from just this photo. And if you guys don't know, this is the top of the top card. Like this card in a PSA 10, it's hard to say the price on them now. They're so hard to find, but I would say at least 70,000 on a card in a 10. Now, if we look in the back here, and here's where that comes in. So this photo is a little blurry, but we can see here, if you guys take a look, there's definitely whitening, and edge wear and stuff like that. And it's actually a decent amount. So if we look even closer, here's a better shot. You can see the sides there, a lot of whitening there, a lot on the top. And overall, let's see the whole back of this card. It actually looks like most of it is up here and over here, comes down this side a little bit there. So my like overall guess on this card, I would guess it coming in at about a 6 or 7, maybe 6 or 7 it would be my guess. Probably like a 6. So you guys could throw in the chat what you think this card would grade if you guys are hanging out here in the live. We got Blastoise 93 is in the house. Welcome, Blastoise 93. We have Mr. James. We got Recon. We got Roger. We got Marshall M is in the house. We got Ryan P, Richard B. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining up here. So the first edition base set Charizard. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to throw this up here so you guys can get an idea of like the value of that. So if we did say it was a PSA 6 first base Charizard, let's see if we get a quick idea of like a value on this. And these cards have been going up nonstop in every single grade because it's like the card of all cards, really. For the most part, pack pulled and most popularity and everything like that. So last one auctioned, it looks like $4,400. So $4,400. We had one around $5,000. One at $5,250. So probably around $4,500 to $5,000 in a PSA 6. So just to give you an idea, Steve, of what that card would probably be worth. But that's like my opinion on it. It might even be a little bit lower than a 6 from that whitening. But yeah, I would put it right around that ballpark. We got a lot of people throwing in 6s. Some people saying 7. So yeah, that's where you're probably looking, 6 to 7. But yeah, really clean card, an amazing card. I mean, for a PSA 6, it's awesome. But thank you so much for that question, Steve. Let's move on to the next one. We're gonna move over to the next question on here. So this is from Dylan Westra. It's a market question. Which sets from the black and white do you think will have the most growth and why? P.S. Love your channel, 600 subs. Hey, thank you so much for being here since 600 subs. That is so cool to have you here for that long. It doesn't feel like it's been that long, but actually really hasn't been too long. But in terms of like the channel lifespan, it's pretty much the whole thing. So we're going to jump into this, right? So black and white era, what I can do is I can pull up a website. If you guys don't know, it's called PokeLector.com. I love this website. I'm not affiliated with any of these websites in any way, by the way, guys. It's totally just things that I genuinely use on the day-to-day basis. So we're going to move into black and white era, right? So in my mind, this is how I think about it. I think about once the X and Y era kicked in. X and Y is immediately after the black and white era. And I think anything before X and Y, there is growth pretty much in every single set you're going to see on here, because this was before that Pokemon Go like thing that catapulted Pokemon to the next level, right? We have these like catapults that bring Pokemon up different levels. Pokemon Go was a huge one, and that was during the X and Y era, right? So like it really not the whole era, but like the probably like midway up, or a little bit more than midway up here, generations and stuff like that. So really with black and white era, it was before like a lot more people were getting into Pokemon, and that means a lot less product, a lot less people holding on to it, and a lot less out there, right? And sets that people never really experienced much. So black and white overall, amazing. You can't go wrong really with any of these sets, because everything in this era has seen tremendous, like huge growth in the past, even just 6 months, even 3 months. So, but like if you want to know the big hitters in the black and white era, absolutely, like in my opinion, without a doubt, absolutely, the number one set on here is going to be this set. It's called Plasma Storm. It has the secret rare Blastoise and Charizard. So if you check that out, this is a secret rare Charizard. I mean, that's insane to get, right? In a set, and a Blastoise on top of that. And then not only that, but you have all these other really big hitters. You have Lugia. You got Articuno full arts. It's just like overall, the set is really big. Lugia, that artwork, if you guys look at that, like let me know what you think of that artwork. I think it's insane. The Articuno as well. So Plasma Storm is huge. And then there's other sets in here as well that do really well. And it's really kind of about what you like in it. Of course, there's black and white base. The first full arts ever. You got to think about that. The first full art, Reshiram and Zekrom cards were in black and white base. There's just a lot of stuff, guys. Dragon's Exalted, Plasma Freeze, I really like as well. But you can't go wrong. You really can't go wrong in any black and white. And if you guys want to see really quickly here, there's the Reshiram and the Zekrom first ever full art cards. So hopefully that answered your question. And thank you so much. We're going to move into the next one. Really quickly, I'm going to say what's up to flips. We got PokeRev. We got Ramsey. We got Aiden. We got Roger. All right. Thank you guys so much. Hey, Kevin's saying, Rev, I officially am starting my sealed collection. X and Y and Sun and Moon started. Kevin's Collectibles. Collectibles with a K. That's awesome to hear. Thank you for joining up here for this live Q&A. We're going to move on to the next question, guys. We're just hanging out. Morning Q&As. We do this every Saturday morning, usually between 9 and 10 a.m. we start. Next one is going to be from Dustin. Buying and selling question. The goal is investing, PSA grading, and selling. That's right. So recently, I bought 4 Pikachu EX red and blue collection boxes, Pokemon Generations, trying to decide if I should open to grade or hold them. Purchased in at $40 each, and I think we have a photo here. Nice. So here are the boxes if you guys want to see what those look like. And thank you guys for adding in the photos. I think it really adds to the discussion, because a lot of people don't know what we're talking about sometimes, and it really helps out a lot. So I appreciate if you have a question and there is some sort of picture you can involve with it, it definitely helps. But these are the Pikachu red and blue collection boxes. Now, I actually have, like, guys, I'll show you guys really quickly here. Like, no joke, I love Generations. I mean, Generations is a set that I feel like was super overlooked. And these are what we're talking about here, guys. The red and blue collection boxes. They had this in, there was a Pikachu version of it. There was the Charizard, the Blastoise. There's the Venusaur. So yeah, we had 4 different versions of these, and there's 4 Generations packs in here. And then the promo card, which would be whatever Pokemon you had on the box, and then the statue as well. So I love these. I mean, I bought a bunch of these because I thought the set was so cool. It just really resonated with me, especially with the Generation 1 Pokemon being in that set and everything like that. So switching back here, we could see the Pikachu EX red and blue collection boxes. So in terms of like what to do with this set, it's really up to you, but I'll show you guys what those are going for. So red, blue, collection, and I'm going to put Generations. I'm going to be like as vague as possible so we can see what we get on here. And I'll actually put Pikachu as well, but you can already see like Charizard one is going for the most, right? Because it's Charizard. So let's see what sold came up here. Oh, so it looks like you actually might have won this auction. It looks like the same photos. Or maybe you sold these. You know what? I think this question actually might have been from last week. Now that I'm looking at the date here, I might have started with a couple of questions from last week's. I tried to start the questions off from the beginning of the new stream, so everybody that gets early can get their questions answered. But I think this might be you. So it looks like you may have auctioned these off and went for 152 plus $17 shipping, or you won them. It's either or, because that's the same exact picture there. But we can kind of see. So auctions are sometimes not the best way to get the most value out of certain things, but because we could see some that went for like 70, you know, a lot of these going for 70, 60, 70 buy it now. So it kind of depends, but we can also move back over to PokeLector here, and I can show you guys generations. It was during the X and Y era. It was it was like one of those mid subset things like Hidden Fates where they didn't have a booster box that you could get. You had to buy the collection box. But there's Charizards in here. There's a lot of cool stuff. They even had some really unique Charizard artworks with like the owners on them, which I thought was really cool. If you guys want to check these out, I feel like these cards are super underappreciated, and I always like them. But if you check it out here, we have Charmander, like that, and then that's like the trainer there. So the trainer and the Charmander is just kind of, you know, playing around with him, took his glasses and running, and then you can see like the next stage is there's Charmeleon. They're a little bit older, you know, maybe in high school or college, hanging out in a tree, and this is the Radiant collection, by the way, a subset within it. And then Charizard, fully evolved. The dude is fully like grown adult now. They're like bearing out a winter storm. I don't know. I just really like this card. I like this whole evolution line. So let me know what you guys think of that. And then of course, like there's the Mega Charizard from Flash Fire. So they threw those in there as well. I like the set personally, but I know a lot of people have different opinions about generations. But I think it's awesome. But either way, you can't really go wrong with it. I personally keep all my sealed for now. But yeah, we're going to switch over. We're going to move to the next question here. I think the next one will be starting when people submitted questions when this live stream started. Okay, this is a big one here. So Julian Stefan, it's a buying and selling question. I have a large PSA submission I'm doing from most of my old cards. In my collection, I just recently found from when I was a kid, and some newer ones I've opened. I wanted to upload a portion of them for you to look at and see what you think they might grade. So there are a lot of photos here. I'm going to pull up as many as I can so you guys can actually look through it with me, and we could take a look here. I'll start with these four photos here, and we're going to take a look and see exactly what we got going on here, and we kind of get a better idea and understanding of some of these cards. So really quickly, I'm going to switch over the screen, and we're going to start off here. We have a Blastoise. So this is a base set Blastoise. It has the original 99 date on the bottom there. You can get these with 99 to 2000 dates as well. There's no errors here, so it's put Blastoise on the stage 1 card. No stage error would be up here. That's not there. There's also a red dot error that you can find on these. So I don't see any errors on here. Now I do see a lot of edge wear on here. We got a lot of like, it looks like you know, like little specks of like dirt and stuff like that. And I think this is the back of it, I'm gonna say. Back has some corner whitenings on here on the side. It's kind of hard to see with the glare and the penny sleeve, but overall this could be probably another one in that like 6 to 7 ballpark. The centering's good on these though. But overall, this Mr. Mime is the next one here. It looks pretty clean on the front. It's hard to say exactly with it being in this thing here, but if you check it out, this is actually an error card. So I don't know if you're aware of it, but you have Mr. Mime, but there's no symbol here. It's from the jungle set. So this would be what we call a no symbol or jungle no symbol card, because it's supposed to have the jungle symbol on the side there, and you also have the Vileplume as well. So these cards are actually really valuable in any grade. So I'll give you a heads up on that. That's really awesome there. So congratulations on that. If you weren't aware of it, I didn't see you mention it, so I don't think that you were. I'm gonna see if I could pull up a few more photos here, because now I'm curious if you have any other cards that are error cards. If you guys don't know, Jungle, one of the unlimited print runs, they forgot to put the Jungle stamp on there, which is pretty huge because it makes it look like it's a base set card. But we have some I probably can't pull up all these cards because you have a lot of photos on here, but I will grab as many as I can. So we got like a Dragonair here, and that one is first edition from Gym Heroes. A really awesome card. The front looks good. It's a little bit hard to see from the photos, but I do see like the corners on most of these cards have edge wear. So this wouldn't be anything like a 10 or a 9, or maybe not even an 8, but most of your cards are looking like 6, 7s or so, which is still really awesome, especially for these no symbol jungle cards. So congrats on that. And yeah, hopefully that helped you out a little bit. We're going to move on to the next question here. Let's see. Next question up is going to be from let's see. So I can't pull that up. Somebody linked a YouTube video. I probably can't pull that one right this second, but I will look at it later, and I could possibly pull it up in another one. Okay, so this is pretty interesting. This one's from Pokemon Jose, and this is a little bit different here. So you guys can ask questions related to social media, like, because I know a lot of us here do a lot of Pokemon card openings and stuff like that, and it's getting really popular, where especially nowadays with a lot of people that are being stuck at home, a lot of people are finding alternate ways to either have fun or other sources of income, and just to maybe even just have fun with social media and things like that. Mickey Mouse, Disney World, if only we could go. The goal is to grow my TikTok. You inspired me to do videos of opening Pokemon packs. The question is, what can I do to grow my TikTok? If you'd like to check it out, it's Pokemon Jose. So I'll definitely check that out. But if you want to grow social media platforms, post. You have to post. Like, that's just the bottom line. You have to post content, right? So if you really want to grow, post as much as you can. Post five times a day, post 10 times a day on all these different platforms, and put them all together. Post on YouTube, post on Instagram, post on TikTok, on Twitter, on Facebook, on everything. Use them all together and create yourself, your own identity online and things, and your own brand and your own name, and do it that way. But constantly post, whether it's something funny, whether it's something that people resonate with, whether it's something that people get value out of, they learn from. Always constantly be posting content online. All right, so I'm really quickly go through here. Hopefully that answered your question, by the way. I'm going to go through here and check out the live chat. I apologize. It's tough to answer questions and look at the live chat, but I see all you guys here, and I appreciate you all being here. But we got a super chat from Ismail Nungary. I hope I said that right, but hey, PokeRev, definitely enjoying this series. Do you think Pokemon will also reprint Hidden Fates Elite Trainer boxes? No. So if you guys don't know, I'll pull this up so you guys can see, because I'm going to ask you guys actually a question here in a second, but I'm going to pull this up first. So this is Hidden Fates ETBs, which are also known as Elite Trainer boxes. Now, these are going for a lot of money. Elite Trainer boxes. As you can see here, we got $275 best offer, $220 best offer, $250 plus shipping. So it's like $250 I'm seeing for a lot of these Elite Trainer boxes. So if you guys don't know, one of the main things with the ETBs is just the pure factor of it being a unique item, right? So it's like a unique sealed piece, a unique sealed collectible. But on top of that, you have that that glass stain promo card of the legendary birds. You get the packs in there. You get like all the extra stuff as well. So ETBs, from what I've seen with Pokemon, I don't think they're really reprinting this kind of stuff. And I've actually had confirmation from my distributor saying that they're not doing that. They're just doing the tins. So I don't think these are going to be affected. I know a lot of people are kind of worried because these are worth so much. I think they're unique in their own way. I think they have enough to bring to the table where they're not really going to be affected much, because people like these. They like the stained glass, Moltres, Zapdos, Articuno. They like the stuff in there. They like it as a unique collectible. But no, as of now, we're not hearing anything of ETBs. And I'm gonna cross over a little bit here too with Darkness Ablaze, and that's another thing. If you guys don't know Darkness Ablaze, we hit on that last live a lot. And with Darkness Ablaze, the other thing that I'm being told is the ETBs from Darkness Ablaze are going to be heavily allocated, which that means that, like, I put an order in for those as well. I just said, give me what you can give me, because at this point, there's no guarantees. And my distributors tell me that they're limiting that as well. So if we go by history with ETBs, like with Hidden Fates, if it's limited, if it has something cool in the box, it's going to be an awesome collectible to hold on to. So Darkness Ablaze, the build and battle kits, and even the theme decks. We're trying to figure out what exactly is going on with those as well. So a lot of exciting stuff, guys. This is like a really exciting time for Pokemon cards. There's so much going on. There's so much fun stuff going on. There's so much opportunity, and it's just a really good time for Pokemon and just collectibles as a whole. This isn't just Pokemon, although Pokemon is really doing it right, on top of it being a market that is growing and getting more people into it and getting more passionate people into the hobby as well. But besides that, they're just doing everything right now. They're doing a lot of stuff right. So it's a fun time. But that leads me to my next question, guys. I'm very curious. We have almost 450 people here in this live. I want to know right now, be completely honest with me. Nobody judges anybody here in the PokeCave, right? So that's one thing, is that no matter how long you've been collecting Pokemon cards, or your reason for collecting them, or even if you're just, you're just interested in the market aspect of it, or just the collecting aspect of it, or whatever the case may be, nobody's judged here. So everybody's always welcome. So that leads me to my question. I'm very curious. Let me know in the chat. I want to know if you have just started collecting Pokemon cards again for the first time. Now, don't count, like, if you, most of us collected back as when we were kids, like many years ago, but like, even if you're just getting back in for the first time in a long time, or if you're just getting into Pokemon for the first time ever, give me a hashtag, just do hashtag me. If you've started collecting since January of this year, so within the last 7 months, hashtag me in the chat. I want to see how many people are brand new to Pokemon cards collecting, or the market as a whole. I'm very curious to see it, because there's so many people coming in right now. Hashtag me in the live chat if you just started getting into Pokemon within the past 7 months. All right. So we're going to see. And my thinking is there's a lot of people, right, with this market and with how Pokemon's going. There's a lot of people jumping in. So I'm on a 15-second delay here, but all right. They're all coming in now. We got hashtag me, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They're still flying in. So 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. I can't keep up. 36, 37. Okay. There is a lot. Like, it's flying through here. 70 maybe is my guess at this point. 75. Okay, right. So this is just kind of like alluding to my point here, is that the market right now, it's growing. The people that are coming into Pokemon, it's growing, right? This is a thriving collectibles. This is a thriving market. This is really exciting times here. And on top of that, if you are just starting up, this is the place to be, to come hang out here in the PokeCave on Saturday mornings, to learn, to have discussions, and to really figure out whether it's you want to collect, and you're trying to figure out what you want to collect, right? Or if it's you don't know if you should grade your cards, or because these are all questions, and nobody should ever be embarrassed to have any of these questions, or feel like they don't understand things like somebody else might, or even if people have different opinions on this. You guys can come here and you can know for sure that you are accepted here, and that we're going to help one another out, right? So guys, if you have those questions, throw them in the live form in the chat, all right? And we're going to get to it, and we're trying to help each other out here as well. And you can network in the live chat. So if you're in this live chat and you're watching it live, network with people, right? Make friends, make connections, have a good time. That's what it's all about. Nobody wants to collect Pokemon cards by themselves. And that was my ramble for the morning. There you go. All right, so let's jump into it. Next question is going to be from... all right, here we go. Wort87, this is a collecting question. The goal is to grow my collection while becoming a competitive player. Well, that is awesome. So, the competitive side of it, right? That's awesome to see. And hopefully, you do well and you get into it. That's something I've always wanted to get into as well. I just haven't had the time, and I'm sure I'd get obliterated. But here we go. We got some awesome photos. This is a shiny Charizard GX. So, let's take a look. Front of it. You can see on these cards, the borders are really thin on these. So right off the bat, you can see here that the top is thicker than the bottom, right? So there's that like ratio, which you want to look for. The sides are pretty good. They're like pretty close, but that bottom is going to be a little too thin there. So I would assume that this would dock right down to a 9 right off the bat from just the centering. Now the back is definitely a blurry photo here, so I can't see. It looks like there might be some wear down there, but I'm assuming that this is pack pulled. Another thing you want to be careful of is putting this on the floor. So like face down, you might scratch it. So I would recommend getting the penny sleeves. So if you guys are looking for stuff like that, penny sleeves, well, they're kind of, the card savers are really hard to find now. But I do have a link down below in the description to an Amazon storefront where I have like the recommended supplies. Although they are getting hard to find. I don't know if they might even be out of stock at this point. But yeah, so probably a 9 on this one, as long as the back's okay, which I couldn't really see very well. But yeah, congratulations on the shiny Charizard GX. Hopefully it grades well. Move on to the next question. So, this is from Positive Energy. Thank you for being here, Positive Energy, as always, bringing the positive energy to the PokeCave. This question is under other. Do you invest in other collectibles other than TCGs? Example, Pokemon video games, Legos, or even Harry Potter books. That's an awesome question. So, mainly, my main things that I grab are definitely TCGs, whether it be Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, a little bit of Magic, and then just like just so many other types of random TCGs that are out there. But besides that, I do collect video games, and that is something that you guys haven't seen from me yet. So I should do a video on that one of these days. I keep saying I'm going to do videos on these certain things that I haven't hit yet, but my video game collection is, I would say it's pretty vast, but it's pretty narrow in terms of like the systems that I enjoy. I enjoy the Nintendo 64 as a kid. That was like my go-to console. Hashtag me in the chat if you, or hashtag N64 in the chat if you're an N64 fan and you grew up with the N64. That is my favorite console of all time. So, I always have been purchasing sealed games from that. I love like the sealed, like it just, I don't know what it is, but it's just the nostalgia of holding a sealed video game in my hand. It's like, this has never been opened. This is like, they put this on the shelf as a kid and that's what I saw. So I love that. But I've been getting into WADA grading, VGA grading, and just loose sealed games as well. So like, I'll show you actually really quickly here. I'll just grab this. So check this out. Pokemon Gold. Who remembers that? Pokemon Gold with the Ho-Oh on the front. Like, this is it for me. I love this kind of stuff, but this is factory sealed Pokemon Go, or not Pokemon Go, Pokemon Gold version, and you can see the back on there. It has the seam and everything, and I definitely want to do a video soon on sealed, like video games in general, and that's something else. But that's basically it. And then like a lot of like sealed toys as well, but that was from a big store buyout, so like sealed toys from the 80s and the 90s, and that's pretty much it. Hot toys and stuff like that, but that's just for fun. If you guys know like those figures that you can kind of like articulate and things. But other than that, it's mainly Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, video games, just stuff that I love as a kid. But thank you for the question and for being here. Positive Energy. All right, Jeff the Ref is in the house. Collecting question. Welcome back, Jeff the Ref. Open up some Hidden Fates, and here are some of the pulls. With the reprint in mind, are there any cards I should not send to PSA? So that is a good question. Let's check out your pulls here for your Hidden Fates opening. Thank you for the photos as well. Oh, nice. Looks like we got a Guzzlord down there. We got a bunch of GXs. So Wigglytuffs. We got Pinsir, the classic Jesse and James full art. We got the full art tag team legendary birds, a couple Charizard GXs. So Charizards always do well. People love the legendary birds. Of course, you got the shinies. You got both back to back. That's awesome. The Lycanroc. So definitely these will be awesome. This, the Jesse and James, and even the Charizard. So in terms of like the reprint and like the amount of cards that are going to be out there, it's really tough to say. But I would say for sure right now there's a drop in the supply. So you just have to keep that in mind, right? So when we're looking into the future, I think the biggest thing that's going to get hit the hardest would be modern stuff, and then even narrowing it down even more, probably modern cards, right? Maybe not as much as a sealed product, but I think the biggest thing that's going to get hit when there is sort of like a bounce is going to be modern. Is going to be the modern PSA cards, because you just have to think about it as an availability thing, a supply and a demand thing, right? But we're probably going to get more into that eventually here. I'm sure we'll have more questions regarding that. But really quickly here, I also want to go back. Can I go back even further here? I'm so sorry if I missed your super chat. I think there was a couple of super chats in here, and I don't think I can go back anymore with this live chat. I apologize. I will definitely, if anybody sent me a super chat earlier that I didn't hit, I'm going to go through and I will privately try to get in touch with you if it was a question. I apologize about that one. So we actually do have a super chat from Maz. Hashtag me, the last 2 weeks I turned 29 soon. Just bought a $4,000 card collection for only a few hundred. Thanks for the content, man. Instagram is good, bad. Refo. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for the super chat. Congrats on that huge pickup, a $4,000 card collection for only a couple $100. You cannot beat that. That's awesome. So good luck with whatever you do with that. We have a lot of hashtag N64s in the house. So shout out to all of you guys here. It's awesome to see. So we're going to actually move on to the next question here. And it is going to be, give me 1 second here. All right. White Goku in the house. This is, the goal is to become self-employed. Well, that's an awesome goal. Be self-employed. I love, I love being self-employed. It's really cool because you can kind of go about your day, and the more time you spend on something, the more you get out of it. So what other markets would you put your money into if you had some free cash? So right now everything is booming, but you just have to be kind of really be careful with things because we don't know what it's going to look like, 6 months, a year out from now. But like I did mention a little bit earlier, actually very recently, video games, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Magic, stuff like that is the types of things that I personally am into. But I would go with things that you're also passionate about, because if you're not passionate about it, you probably won't do as well with it because you're not going to care as much about those particular items. So we have another question coming up here. It is going to be from Ken. Collecting question. Is it worth sending cards in for regrading? I feel like this Zard is a black label. I could be wrong. Also, do you think these championship series cards will go up in value? All right, so let's see what we got here. We actually have some photos here, so we can take a peek up on the screen. So, Charizard. It got the 10 pristine. So if you guys don't know, the black label. This label would be black if it was a perfect 10. The only thing that was off on here is the centering. So to answer your question, just looking at this, if you guys could see this, I do not think that it would get that perfect 10, because I can actually see without even looking with a close-up microscope that top is for sure thinner than that bottom. And hopefully you guys can see that. I think this is as much as I could. Oh, I can zoom in more. Ooh, I like technology. Here we go. All right, so see that, guys? The top there is actually looking to be a lot thinner than the bottom. Actually, I'm a little bit surprised that it got the 9.5. I would think with that centering, it would probably get like a 9 at the most. So no, I don't think it would ever cross to a black label. But I think the 10 pristine is very, very good grade on that. In terms of the championship series cards, not totally sure on that. I would say most likely with limited types of product like that, really great artwork, most likely. But yeah, thank you so much for that question. And let's move in. We actually have a super chat from Professor Oates. Just wanted to say thank you for answering my question last weekend. Really awesome how you interact with your subscribers. Best Poke channel, hands down. Thank you so much, Professor Oates. I love that name. I like your little your photo as well on your channel. That's really awesome. But yeah, thank you for being a part of this. And thank you to everybody that's been here, that's making this possible, right? Because without you guys here during the live interacting, without your guys' questions, without your guys' genuine passion for the hobby, this wouldn't be a thing. This wouldn't be a place to hang out. But guys, we got Trainer Trey in the house. What is going on, Trainer Trey? Hashtag self-employed. Morning to everybody. Thank you for being here as well. Of course, we got Blastoise93 as well hanging out. And everybody else that's here. So, guys, if you are just joining up here, really quickly, I'm going to let you know. This is a live Q&A, right? So how it works is, if you guys have questions related to Pokemon cards collecting, if you have like a question, like what do I collect? How do I collect? Anything collecting wise, anything artwork wise, and then anything investing wise, anything market wise, grading, right? Everything that has to do with Pokemon cards. This is the place to be. This is the place to hang out. Grab your coffee, grab your breakfast, hang out and learn some stuff, have a good time, network. But if you do have that question, what you have to do is go to the link in the description down below, hit the first link. Send it in on the form on there, and we'll answer. We'll try to answer as many as we can here live. All right. So we got another question, and more people throwing in the photos. I love it, guys. Thank you so much for like, you guys ask the best questions. Really, you do, and you really make this a fun time to be. So we got Joe D in the house. Goal is to get them graded and sell them. Question is, can this card in the photo attached come back as a PSA 10? I had great luck pulling it from a Dollar Tree pack last week. It is so hard for me to tell. The Dollar Tree. We just did a live Dollar Tree opening yesterday. I won't spoil it, so if you guys haven't checked that out, make sure you check it out. It's always a fun time grabbing the Dollar Tree packs. But I'm going to pull up the photos here. Hopefully we have a back photo. Yes. Okay, front and back. That'll do. That'll do. There are other photos on there, but these are perfect. So, Zacian V from the Sword and Shield base set. That is awesome. So, Zacian. I love this card. Really, really nice. Zacian V. There it is. And we could take a quick peek here. Came out of a Dollar Tree pack. I don't know why this is going to zoom in the right way. Okay, we got to do it this way. So, centering is actually really good on this thing, and it's pack fresh. Front looks really good. I mean, the front looks really good. The back, I don't see anything. I mean, judging from the photos and the lighting in here, the back's really well centered. There's no whitening on the corners, no edge wear. This is what you want to look for a 10 candidate. And Joe, I think you have yourself a 10 candidate right here. I would definitely send this into PSA and get it graded. It's a great card. It's one of the biggest hits in the set. So I'd definitely go about grading that. But yeah, definitely have a shot there out of 10. Thank you for the question, Joe D. Let's move on to the next question here. All right. So, next question is from Dennis. Question is under other. The goal is an Expedition Master set. That is sick. Expedition E-Series. Hey, PokeRev, I live in Europe and wanted to have my cards graded. Do you know if gradedgem.com service is trustworthy? Your videos are super entertaining. Keep it up. Well, thank you so much. So, Graded Gem. Been around a long time, I believe. UK based. I believe they have a YouTube channel as well. From what I've heard and from what I know, good service, great service, and yeah, definitely would check them out, especially if you were in Europe. I don't see why not. Seem like a couple of great guys over there, so doing their thing, and yeah, I believe so. I believe that would be a good way to go about it. All right, let's move on to the next question. So, let's see. Next question is from Peterson. It's a collecting question. The goal is to catch them all. I love when people put the goals in, right? To catch them all. That's awesome. Have you ever seen the Pokemon market drop, making you a loss in investment? If so, what was that? I never hear any Pokemon or any Poketubers mention any negative sides of investing in Pokemon. Is Pokemon really a risk-free investment? Right. So, no, there's no risk-free investment. Period. It doesn't matter if you're grabbing Pokemon cards, if you're grabbing Yu-Gi-Oh, if you're grabbing coins, stamps, if you're grabbing artwork. There's no risk-free investment, right? Period. It doesn't exist. It's an investment. It's like the saying that a lot of people say here in the PokeCave, right? Risk it for the biscuit, right? Because you have to risk it. It's a risk. It's always a risk. Now, in terms of like a market drop-off, from what I've seen and from what I've been a part of, the market drop-offs that I've seen in corrections have only really been in PSA graded cards. That is it, because I think of it this way. My thought process and how I go about it, and this is all opinion based, right? Because somebody could have a different opinion than me, and that's totally cool. And that's why we have the live chat and where people can talk about everything that they feel about things. But I personally feel sealed product, right, that is like one of the main focuses for me, and it always has been, is because sealed product is always becoming less, maybe I'm going to say less available, but that not necessarily, because being available and in the world, like existing and being available on eBay are two different things, but existing in the world. So like a base set unlimited booster box, there is 100% chance that is always going to have less supply. So we have that on our side, right? When we talk about investing in these things, supply is a big focus. Supply, right? Because if there's like 100,000 base set unlimited booster boxes on eBay, the prices will just completely plummet. But that's not going to ever happen because there's not enough supply out there for that to ever happen. So basically, as boxes get opened up, as boxes go into collections, as boxes, hate to say it, some stuff gets thrown out, things get thrown out, things don't exist anymore. As the supply becomes more limited, right, the prices naturally tend to increase because of that demand. And if you guys watched earlier when I asked how many people are new to Pokemon, just in this live, I think we probably had close to like 100 people just at that very moment saying that they just started collecting Pokemon or they just got into Pokemon like just this year. So with that being said, right now, demand has always been on our side with Pokemon. The demand has always been increasing from what I have been in personally. So I've been collecting Pokemon for about 6 years now. And ever since I've been in it, it has always been increasing. But a correction did occur with PSA graded cards. And that was right after the Pokemon Go hype. So basically, you know, a lot of cards were hitting new highs consistently. And then, of course, nothing can go up forever, and there was a correction in that, and it was a pretty big correction, and it slowly worked its way back up until now it's actually going up even way higher than what the Pokemon Go was. So we're seeing a lot of things increase across the board. I did mention earlier, there's pretty much collectibles across the board. Everything is seeing just a big uptick, right? Nobody really knows like the forces behind everything and what's going on here, but there's a lot of different variables at play, and people are probably going to look back and figure it out eventually. But right now, nobody has the answer. I'll tell you guys, nobody, no matter who you're listening to, nobody has that exact answer of what's going on. There's all different variables at play. So hopefully that answered your question. But in terms of like just in general risk-free, there's nothing that's risk-free ever. But we're going to move on to the next, and thank you for the question, right? I think it's a very important thing to touch on here. And everybody should know it. Everybody should be aware of this, without a doubt. So, and I try to be an open book with you guys. Like I tell you how I feel, 100%. I tell you, you know, certain things that if I have, you know, certain products, if I'm buying them, if I'm selling them, whatever it is, you guys can ask me anything. I'll be as open and honest with you guys as possible. So I personally don't care if the prices go down. I don't care if the prices go up. It doesn't really matter much to me. I'm enjoying it. And like a downtick for most people is just going to be like, oh, now I can grab that. Like with Hidden Fates, if there is like a somewhat of a downtick because of supply, like I'm like, oh, that's awesome. I could get more Hidden Fates. Like I can open up stuff on the channel. I could buy stuff, put some stuff in the closet for later, and stuff like that. Like it doesn't. I personally don't. It doesn't bother me which way things move. There's different as another door closes, you have to think about this, another door opens up, right? So a certain door closes, like the older stuff has been getting increasingly more and more expensive, but like so that those doors have been closing for certain things and certain products because it's becoming more unattainable. But then like these other doors open up where it's like, oh wow, like Flashfire, like this is an awesome set. People are grabbing this set, like I love that. I love Flashfire, or like even Sun and Moon, you know, era boxes or certain sets like Burning Shadows. Like it's just like there's so many dynamics to it. But yeah, hopefully that answered your question there. I'm gonna move on to the next one. Okay, so market question. This one's from oh wait, I already did that one. My apologies. So let's see what the next question is going to be. Okay, so Josh A. This question is under other. Question is, hey PokeRev, I'm looking to sell my first batch of cards. I'm looking to send my first batch of cards to PSA and wondered if this card would receive the miscut grade due to the cut on the top left. Loving these lives. Thank you so much. Thank you for the question. So we're looking to see if this card would get the miscut grade. If you guys didn't see yesterday, I pulled a card that I'm fairly almost positive will get a miscut. So let's see what the card is. We have, I'm going to pull it up on the screen here. Let's see what we got. This is interesting. I've actually don't think I've ever seen this before. Okay, so check this out, guys. Let me know if you've seen this in the live chat. I'm curious if anyone's seen this, but it looks like there's like an extra, like, I guess it is cut really weird. It looks like they left like part of another card on here. I've actually never seen that before, so I'll give a close up, and it looks like there's extra card on there from another card, and then you can see it on that way as well. So I don't know. I've honestly, I've never seen it quite like that, where they actually looks like they tried to cut it and it just didn't cut off completely. Interesting. Let me know, guys. Let me know in the chat what you think about this. Very interesting. We'll jump back to that if anybody in the chat has anything to throw in on that. But we are going to move into the next question here. We actually have a super chat from Kuro. Can you look at my question on the form, please? Yeah, so just so you guys know how it works, basically on the form, it's a first come, first serve. So like the earlier you guys get here to the live, the more the sooner your question will get answered. But I am going through the list right now. So as they come in, they all come in order, just so you guys are aware of that. So, right, like, we're going to move on to the next question now, and that'll be, like, the next one that came up in line. So, next question is going to be from Marco. This is a collecting question. The question is, how much should I spend on a heavy base set pack? Interesting question. So, I haven't been following, like, heavy pack prices, and for those who don't know, a heavy pack basically means, like, the pack was weighed, and it is supposed to be heavy. Heavy meaning that there is a hollow in it, or there should be a hollow in it. So what I could do is I can go on eBay, I can do heavy base. I'm assuming it's unlimited, which you're referring to. If it was first edition, we'd be talking a lot of different price than what I'm talking here. Heavy base unlimited pack. All right, I'm going to throw that on eBay. I'm going to switch back over to eBay. We're going to see what we got on here. Now, that's just what's listed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to, I'll just throw lowest first. Let me see what comes up here. So the lowest, this is, okay. This person has light, heavy, exclamation point, question mark. So that means they don't really know what's going on. It's like on the border of being light or heavy. When we move into like these right here, the cheapest that I see is $500. So you have to be careful with certain things. Like for example, this one, it has a sticker on there from Toyworks. So the stickers, believe it or not, will actually throw the weight off. So like, even though that says the weight on there is apparently supposed to be heavy. Oh, this is actually really cool. I've never seen a base booster box with like the actual KB Toy stickers on the box as well. So that's kind of cool. But so they're going off of like that weight there, but it has that sticker on it. So I'd be careful, but it looks to me like the cheapest that you can actually get on eBay is going to be $500. But it's tough to say. Like, I don't really monitor prices of heavy packs and light packs really very much. But like you can see some that have sold recently. There's actually not many recently sold. The last one that I'm sorry, this is from lowest. So let me put it recent. End it recently. You can get an idea of what the market's been doing. $450 or best offer on that. $550 or best offer. That one went for about $500, but it was a Charizard artwork. That one also went almost for $500. So it's looking like they're about $500. But that's just going from the market, right? So that doesn't mean necessarily that's a good price for you to buy it at or not. But that's just what the market's doing. So hopefully that helps answer your question. All right. So let's see what the next question is on the form. Next question is going to be, let's see. Okay, next question is a collecting question from Gabriel. Thank you again for being here, Gabriel. The goal is to buy modern sets. The question is, what do you think are the best modern sets to go after / collect? So let's check that out. Let's look at it together, right? So modern sets, for those who don't know, there's different definitions for what exactly a modern set would be. So in my personal opinion, I look at modern, and this is PokeLector. Guys, if you don't know this website, it lists pretty much all the sets in order here. It's just a really nice visual way to look at things. So we start off here, like this is the original Wizards of the Coast era. You have like the base set series that goes through Rocket, the Challenge series, the Neo series, Legendary Collection, the Skyridge, like the E series stuff. And then it moves into the EX era after the Wizards of the Coast era, which is another really sought after era. Diamond and Pearl, like all these sets to me are not modern at all. Like definitely not Wizard of the Coast era, definitely not EX era. And then like not even, this is where things change. People are like, originally people were like, you know, Wizard of the Coast era is like the vintage stuff, right? That's it. It's just Wizard of the Coast era. And everybody was so set on that. I remember that like maybe like when I got into Pokemon like 6 years ago, it was like Wizard of the Coast is the only thing that's vintage. And then people were like, EX era is actually really getting up there. It's really hard to find. Honestly, EX era, most of these boxes, I'm going to say, are harder to find. They're more difficult to find than Wizards of the Coast era. I mean, a Holon Phantoms box, guys. I haven't seen one of these listed in like over a year at least. I'm looking for a Holon Phantoms box. I can't find them anywhere. And like all of these, most of these are tough to find. Maybe not the super popular sets, but a lot of them are really hard to find. Deoxys is on like another planet, apparently. You can't find those in planet Earth. So then we move into the Diamond and Pearl era. Now this is where things really people get opinionated, because I think most people can say EX era or older is going to be vintage. But like Diamond and Pearl to me is vintage at this point. I mean, to me it is. To me, Platinum is, and Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Call Legends. And at this point, I used to not think black and white, but at this point I really do. So at this point, in my opinion, I say X and Y or newer is really like super modern stuff. Black and white is kind of crossing into that like older set, even though it's not like technically like old. It's really it's dated. It's hard to find. There weren't as many people in Pokemon grabbing that, so it's hard to find it. But like so when people ask me that question, I usually stick to X and Y and Sun and Moon because it's the easiest to get into. The lowest pricing in terms of like getting in without having to pay like extreme amounts of money, but not like you can't even say that for sure with everything, because like Flash Fire booster boxes are like 1,500 plus. Phantom Forces boxes are a lot. So things like that. Modern stuff, you have to think in terms of, with modern, what is in the set? Because if we go back to like black and white era or older, it's really not as much about what is in the set, although it is to a certain extent. It's more about like, it's super hard to find a Heart Gold, Soul Silver base box, period. Like they're so hard to find. So even if it doesn't have like the top of the top cards in it, the set's still going for thousands of dollars. So you have to think of it that way. So I would say, like, just in general, this is my personal take on it, is like Flash Fire, Phantom Forces, moving into even Evolutions, even with the high print runs and everything like that. I still think Evolutions is a really, really solid set. Besides that, in the X and Y era, I'm trying to think of what else I would say. Maybe those being like the top three from there. And then like a few from Sun and Moon, I would say Burning Shadows. That's another one that was printed like a lot, but it's still a really good set, especially with the Charizard, in my opinion. Then you have Unbroken Bonds, really up there. Of course, Hidden Fates. Team Up with the tag team cards. Also tag team cards and Unbroken Bonds. And like something like Cosmic Eclipse are sets that I tend to feel as though they're like the more breakout sets in these eras of Pokemon. Also Shining Legends as well. And guys, I have another question. I know I've been asking you guys some questions throughout it, but let me know. I know you guys have been asking me the questions, but I also always have questions for you guys as well. But I'm curious, would you guys be interested in just like once in a while during these live streams, we hop on eBay and we kind of see like what is being listed, kind of see what's going on with the market, what people are doing. Let me get a hashtag yes if you'd be interested in like a mini little segment. Not like super long, but just something to throw in to kind of switch it up from the Q&A, and then like move back and forth a little bit through different like topics, I guess you could say. So if you'd want to go on eBay and kind of just look around, see what the new listings are, see like what things have just been selling like as we are actually talking, so you guys could actually see like what is actually going on right now. I think it'd be kind of fun, but let me know. I don't want to do things that you guys like don't want to see, and I always go back to it being like, I want you guys to get the most value out of this. So if you guys are getting value out of the Q&As and you don't want me to switch at all, you want to just consistently go through the Q&As and not switch topics, I'll do that. But if you guys are like, hey, I'd love to see some other stuff as well thrown in there, let me know, because I know we start these off a lot, these streams, with like the news of the week, or like the big headline, which was like the Hidden Fates reprint. Last week was like the Darkness Ablaze limited Charizard trophy cards. But oh wow, okay. Okay, we're getting a lot of yeses here. So oh, that's awesome to see. Okay. Well, let's switch it then. Let's switch up the vibe a little bit, even though the whole vibe of this is just to hang out and have a good time and learn. But let's switch it up and let's see what's going on eBay right now. Let's see what people are listing, and let's see what is selling at the moment. So what I always do is I just type in Pokemon. Be as like vague as possible. Just Pokemon and like that's it. Pokemon. So we'll go up here. So you guys don't know, you can go to newly listed. All right. So we're going to go to new listing. We're just going to see like what's happening and what's being listed and what's selling at this very, like this exact moment that we're talking. What is going on that you guys might have missed out on, or maybe you guys grabbed. So I always go to all categories. I don't limit it to just Pokemon trading card game category because number one, people put stuff in the wrong bag or bag. I said bag because I see a duffel bag. Hold on. I got to look at this. What is this? Vintage Land's End gym bag with a Pikachu. It's a Pokemon. Whoa, that's a Pokemon Center bag? Duffel bag. I've never seen that. And I think there's a Pikachu on it. The Flash totally like got ruined that Pikachu. But that's from Pokemon Center, so that would be a legitimate, I believe, like a legitimate thing. So I'm gonna throw that on my watch list because I kind of want that. Like that's like the weird things that I grab. But that's like literally the second I refresh the page, that's what has come up on auction right now. So I might have to bid on that. But anyway, go to all categories. Go to all categories because you won't limit it. You won't be limited to like. Oh, Psy Ducklings, I'm so sorry. I'm slacking on my emails and DMs, by the way, guys. I got to get back to you on that. Axion Ape, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Okay, so go to all categories. Now, another trick, and I want to give you guys all of my tricks because there's no point in me keeping it to myself when you guys can take advantage of it because there's so many opportunities here. F5, if you are on a computer, on a PC probably only. I don't know about Mac. I'm a PC user. F5. You hit F5 because it's a hard refresh. So if you only normally refresh it by just hitting the normal refresh, like or just clicking here on the tool on the bar at the top and hitting enter, you're not getting a full refresh. So you could be like you're not getting the full like what's actually being listed at this very moment. So we go all categories, we go all new listed, and we're gonna go down here and see if anything like crazy has come up in these past like couple of minutes really. So we're gonna see. This is the Gale of Darkness. I'm assuming this is gonna be open. This is like yeah, it is. It's a GameCube game. It's open, but I mean like that was a cool game for the GameCube. I never played it much, but I think I played it a few times. Here we have a binder. Okay, Pokemon card lot, 100 official TCG cards, ultra rares included, GX, EX, or Mega EX. So it's really interesting that they label that title that because I'm seeing old Wizard of the Coast era cards in here. I'm seeing Dark Machamp. I'm seeing Machamp first edition base. I'm seeing even like Neo sets, Neo Discovery. I'm seeing promos, Black Star promo, Flying Pikachus. I'm seeing Raichus. I'm seeing a lot of old stuff in here, which piques my interest. And as well as things from expanding even past the Wizard of the Coast era. This is really kind of interesting binder. I'm going to continue and look at this a little bit more. Cubones and Marowaks Primates. So it looks like they put them in like order of like the actual Pokemon species. So more non-hollows. I like this though. And I'm wondering why they put like GX and EX in the actual title here, but this is an interesting lot. We can't see the backs of these unfortunately, but there's our Dark Dug trio. If you guys saw our opening for Japanese Rocket, we got like 5 million of those. But I still will say I love that artwork. I love it. Okay, so we're gonna move back here and see what else. And I'm actually gonna do another refresh because that's how fast things move on eBay. Like something will be listed for 10 seconds and it's gone if it's a really good deal most of the time. So I don't think this full art Pikachu was on there before. I didn't see this Heart Gold Soul Silver as well. So we're seeing new things. And this is all new listed. So you could tell it's a new listing because it has this new listing thing on here, which is really kind of like interesting to see that on there, right? So what we're going to do next here is we're going to go and we're going to move down and we're going to see what else was newly listed. And then I'm going to check to see what actually, what has been sold. Right, so like what's sold in this very moment that we've been live here hanging out? Like what are these like big finds or big scores that people are getting here? Pokemon Bulk Collection, 2,300 plus cards with Error Jungle Electrode. This could be interesting because as soon as we see like Wizards of the Coast cards that are potentially in here, and you can see here at the top, it says 19 viewed per hour. That means like this was listed and people are jumping on here and they're looking at this as we are looking at this now. So you guys can also do this with me. If you are watching the live, you can kind of look together and we kind of see. There's actually a decent selection of older cards here. I saw Rev there for a second. Like, what is that? Somebody saying something to me? Reverse Hollow Energy. Some black and white era stuff. So there's a bunch of stuff in here. There's the Electrode. So there's some things in here, but that's something where it's tough to say for sure. But there's a lot of cards in there, so maybe some potential there. I'm gonna scroll through here a little bit, see what else. I'm not seeing a ton of crazy stuff at the moment. So if there's things when you're kind of like you want to look at a little bit of higher end stuff and not limit it to like a lot of like things that just kind of pop up, I'll scroll down a little bit more, and if anything catches my eye, I'll pull it up. But nothing too crazy that I've seen at the very moment. So, but what I can do right now is I can go to sold, and that's another feature on eBay that a lot of you probably would want to know about, because you could go to sold and you could see exactly what was sold on eBay. I mean, it's important to see these things. So we can move in, and these are the things that sold literally in the past minute to 2 minutes here. Like a Misty's Golduck from Gym Challenge Unlimited sold for $12 plus $3.85 shipping. So it looks like somebody auctioned that card off. And let's like pull that up really quickly here and see if we could kind of take a look at this card and see, like, you know, so it has some, you know, it has specks of whitening all around the edges and on some of the corners, but it's not that bad. Centering's really good. The hollow from the picture looks really good. Honestly, this could possibly be like an 8 to a 9, which is, I mean, I think that's a great price for that. $12 plus shipping. And that's like one of those things, right? It's like risk it for the biscuit. That's what you got to do. Mystery power boxes selling. Of course, people always selling those on eBay, grabbing them from Walmart, throwing them up on eBay. It wouldn't be a Pokemon sold listings without finding some of those mystery power boxes that you guys always see. A Typhlosion, number 18. A Beckett's Shadowless Charizard sold on there as well. So I'm actually not seeing anything like too wild here. So what I like to do sometimes, if I'm not seeing like really anything that's really catching my eye, is I'll change the minimum pricing for items that'll show up. So if you guys don't know, you can actually go on here. This is something that catches my eye though. Oh, this is something that catches my eye as well. I like these weird things. I don't know about you guys, but I like the weird, like, random things that Pokemon also has besides the cards in the games. Are like these weird, like, items that are kind of difficult to find. But like this says Pokemon supersized stickers. And it's like a box of them. The box, you could actually see the stickers are all there in the packaging. Kind of cool. Like, I like that random stuff. It's $50. And then, of course, there's a shirt here, an original Pokemon shirt. What is the year? They put 99 with a question mark on it. Let's see what the Pokemon are on here. Pokemon, gotta catch them all. It's got the tag on it. It's pre-shrunk, and it's got the OG. So I would say probably, yeah, in that 99 range, maybe 2000. So that's like a sealed original shirt. It's in extra large. $200 or best offer. That's pretty cool. And like the other thing you do is you can click on the seller, and you can actually go through and see like what else they might have. Another good thing that, oh, they put the stickers up as well. So right now, this is a good seller to kind of keep your eye on, because they're putting up things that like you don't really see very often. Like you don't really see sealed vintage Pokemon shirts. I don't feel like I've never really seen these stickers before. I've seen different stickers, but not those. And then like you can go to sold, and you can see if anything that they put up like actually sold like super recently or not. But it looks like I'm going to keep that tab up, and I'm going to go back to that later and see if they put up anything else. But besides that, and this is all kind of just to show you guys how to go about eBay and find different deals. But like besides that, I'll do a quick refresh again. Okay, so they put something else up. I've seen these before. These are like the Pokemon flips, actions things. These aren't that difficult to find, but they're still kind of cool. So action flips, but that's the same person. So like they're putting things up right now, and it's like you want to keep an eye on it. So what I would do is I would keep that tab open, and then I would like keep an eye on it. So they moved away from Pokemon though. So I don't know if they're going to put any more Pokemon after that last listing, but like we'll keep an eye on it. So what we do now is I want to kind of go to a way to show things that are a little bit more higher end. So I would filter it out and go maybe like $400 or so. So we'll put $399 as the minimum price for an item that like we're looking for here. And we can kind of see what is actually being listed. It might not be as like recently. So we go back, like this is like close to a half an hour ago, these items, but it's cool to kind of see like things that are up higher in price and see if there's anything that might catch our eye here. Like this Overgrowth deck, this is in French, but it's cool because they actually put these in blisters for some of them. So like this deck in English, you won't find this like this in English in like a blister. Like that is sick. Like I gotta say that is sick. Even though it's in French, it has like a blister for it. Like what do you guys think of that? Do you think that's cool? I personally, I think it's awesome. I really like that kind of like the stuff that you can't really find, right? It's the stuff that I like. So this is actually pretty good, right? A first edition Shadowless base set Venusaur, and this one's up at $400 on auction. But I mean, as we can see right here, there's a lot of wear on the top. On the back has a lot of wear actually, so maybe not the best thing to pick up. But it's cool when you see that stuff pop up, nonetheless. And then like besides what is being listed here, we can also go through and we can I don't know, that's a weird statue. I don't know what that is, but we can actually go through and we could go to the sold listings as well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to sold, right? And I'm going to see like the bigger, high, like more like mid-level, higher end stuff being sold. So it's going to have a minimum price of $400 on here to show up. But like we can go through and we can see some things like a huge stack of the mystery power boxes, of course, guys. Like they get the people that go and buy, there's another one. Like they just go around to Walmart and buy them all and then sell them on. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, if that's your thing, no, you know, nothing wrong with that. But it's just like I know that we're always gonna see them on here. So like a giant Lapras. So I heard about these on Pokemon Center. They had these and they sold apparently like super quickly. And I'm going to assume they were not $400, but like this is something that I'm like, if I had a pull, I would want this. This is a giant Lapras from the Pokemon Center, blow up Lapras that you can actually sit on. Like if that is not like the like definition of like childhood goals, I'm pretty sure nothing is at that point, after anything after that. But like $400, and that's sold because they were limited. So I'm going to assume that it wasn't $200 or $400 when Pokemon Center released it. But like let's see if anything else like catches our eye here. Lots of Charizard, shiny Charizard GX, a lot of different collections and things like that. But I think what we'll do is we'll actually go through and we're gonna go back one more time to the newly listed and see if anything else comes up, and then we're gonna move and we're gonna jump back into the Q&A. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the price back down to 0 and do a quick refresh and see if anything else popped up since then. I'm going to F5 refresh it. And we got a base unlimited long crimp. Some more cool sticker things. Table cover from back in the day. And I think that's all of the new list of stuff on here. And then we can also check that other seller out and see if they had any other thing. Now it looks like they're done with Pokemon. That's cool. All right, so let's switch back over to the Q&A. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that little like running around on eBay and seeing if we could grab anything. But we're going to move to the next question here. So next question up is going to be from Richard L. It's a collecting question. Are Dragon Ball Z cards good to collect? So that goes back to like, since it's a collecting question, it's kind of like, what do you want to do? Right? So do you like Dragon Ball Z? Do you like Dragon Ball Z? Did you like that era? Did you like the series? Do you like the cards? If you like it, go for it, like by all means. But the SMR, if you guys don't know, latest like magazine cover did have like Dragon Ball stuff on there. So I know the Dragon Ball like Super and that kind of stuff is getting really popular right now at the moment because, you know, when it becomes like, if it's on the front cover of something like SMR, people are going to pay more attention to it. So I've seen like an uptick with Dragon Ball stuff at the moment. So if you guys are in Dragon Ball stuff, yeah, it's definitely. But all right. So let's see what the next question is going to be. Next question is a grading question from Jared. In your opinion, what grade will this get from PSA? Pulled fresh from a pack to sleeve. Ooh, let's see what card we got. I'm kind of excited to see what you pulled here. I see like the title of like the actual photo has Charizard on it, and it is a Charizard. All right, so let's see. We got ourselves another shiny Charizard GX pull. This one's better centered, so you could tell like I'm gonna zoom in on this, and like the zooming's really weird on here, but hopefully you guys can see that, but like the borders around this card are actually way more centered than that one that we saw. It's like, and it's actually pretty well centered. So I think the centering is definitely good enough for a 10 on the front. Front looks really good. And then the back is the only thing here. So we're going to take a look here. I don't really see any whitening. It is a picture with not as like much lighting, but from the photos, I think it definitely has a really good shot at a 10. So for sure. And like, this is the card where you could set it into Beckett, because Beckett has like that higher tier of like the pristine 10 and like the black label 10. So I'd actually, I personally, if I had that card in my hand, I would send it to Beckett and try to go for that pristine 10 or the black label 10 on it. I think you definitely have a shot there with that. So congrats on that pull. I know everybody's trying to grab that card, and pulling it is like, it's so difficult, but yeah. All right, so let's see what the next question is from Jacob. To see if it's a miscut or not. That's the goal. So I have a question. I'm not sure if this card is a miscut or if it's just a fake or something. If it's a miscut or if it's worth something or just a bad card. Sending some pictures. Thanks. All right, so thank you for the photos here. We're going to pull this up and see exactly what we have going on here. So let's see. We got, yeah, so like these don't, from the photos, they look like they don't have, oh, let me switch the camera over here so you guys can see. Transition. So like they don't look like they have like the texture on them or anything like that. So I would say that these are not legitimate cards. So you could kind of like take, if I could zoom in here a little bit, like, yeah, like so those would be not, those wouldn't be real. So yeah, those would be fake. I'm not sure where you got them, but like there's no texture. Like you could tell from the photo there's no texture on here. Normally that would have like the texture and everything. So unfortunately those are not legitimate cards. Hopefully you didn't get scammed or anything like that. But we're going to move on to the next question. Let's see what we have up next. It is from Courtney. So welcome, Courtney. The goal is to get a shiny Charizard. Awesome goal. The question is, what is the best set for beginners? So that's kind of like an open-ended question there. It really depends on more about you. Like, what do you like? What kind of generation of Pokemon do you like? What type of cards do you like? What kind of stuff are you after? Are you like a Charizard collector, a Blastoise collector? Do you like collect certain species of Pokemon? It really, like, it is, I'd love to answer everybody's question here, but certain questions like that, it's more of like, what do you like? If you're looking for like a modern set to jump into, Hidden Fates is awesome. Evolutions is awesome. Burning Shadows is awesome. Unbroken Bonds, like those types of sets, I feel like maybe if you are new and you're just jumping into it and you want like a set with like a cool chase to it, a nice set list, team up as well. So like maybe those sets would be nice to start with. But again, it really depends on what you are after. Do you like the old stuff? Do you like the new stuff? You know, it kind of depends. All right, so let's see here. The next question is from Charizard. It's a collecting question. And the question is, what is your take on reprinting previous Pokemon cards? Which ones should they not even consider? Steam Siege with the laughing emoji. Yeah, so reprinting of Pokemon cards, it's kind of interesting. They did that, not too many years ago, where they reprinted a set and it was like, people kind of freaked out because people had, they had like their stockpile of these sets and they got reprinted and then everybody was freaking out and the prices dropped and then they came back up. So really like a reprint, it could be another opportunity to grab that set as long as you can't really tell the difference between the first print and the next reprinting of it. Like if they change the dates or something like that, that would be kind of like iffy because some people might only want the original print of it. But like reprinting is just like another way to grab more of that certain set, like another opportunity. Like that's what I see it as for Hidden Fates with this reprint. I'm excited for it. Personally, I'm excited to grab packs for a lower price, be able to get some more stuff open on the channel and things like that. But yeah, that would be like my general take on it. The next question. All right, let's see. The next question is from Justin Dinger. What's going on, Justin? Thank you for being here. It's a collecting question. The question is, the pull rates don't seem as good for Hidden Fate's second print run. Should I buy the remaining singles for my master set or risk opening my 30 tins I was going to stash away? So yeah, if you guys don't know, the second reprint of Hidden Fates, it really seems like they nerfed the pull rates. I mean, if you guys watch openings on them, the pull rates are, in my opinion, nothing like they were with the first printing. But as far as I know, you can't tell the difference between the first print of Hidden Fates and the second print. So like everybody's questioning what the next printing is going to be like, are the pull is going to be harder to get? Are they going to be the same as the first run, the second? Like, nobody really knows. But in terms of like completing a set, like a master set, I guess it really depends on, it goes back to, again, like to you personally. Financially, it really depends on how many cards you're missing. But if it's not a lot, the best way to go about it at that point would probably be to just buy those cards and not have to open up your product with potentially not getting the cards that you wanted. But it could go both ways. You could open it. You could pull, the shiny Charizard GX. Like, there's no right or wrong answer to it. And then there's some people that specifically just like to know that they pulled every card. And that's like a personal thing. So that goes back to something more of a personal type of thing there. All right, so question is from Joe. It's a collecting question. Welcome, Joe. Thank you for the question. The goal is to complete a Wizards of the Coast PSA 10 Black Star promo set. Ooh, that's awesome. So, what makes a Black Star Eevee so hard to get in a 10? I've seen people sending 50 at a time and all come back 8s and 9s, and they do look perfect. So, with the Eevee, it's going to be the print line. So, we can actually go through here on eBay and we can see if there's anything listed on those eBays. And it's the same thing with the Venusaur. The print lines are crazy, like, difficult. So, we're going to put in PSA 10 Eevee Black Star. And we're going to see if we can actually get that Black Star because there are other Eevees. So, let's see. So, here's the card, right? So, this is the Black Star Eevee. It's up for 5,000 or best offer. Now, this card is only a population of 8, meaning that there's only 8 of these that exist in a PSA 10. Right? So if you want to complete the Black Star promos in PSA 10, this is one of the cards that you need. So right now, there's only 8 that exist. So this card's up for 5,000 or best offer. Now, a friend of mine, TCG Revival, I believe he sold his for $4,000. So if you saw that, he sent us his PSA returns and he sent in a lot of those as well. And somehow he had one come back and it came back to 10, which is huge. And that's also the Venusaur Black Star promo, if you guys don't know, is another one. Those are the top 2 most difficult Black Star promos to get. So if we type in Venusaur, that would be another one where it's like the scratching on the hollows and everything. So I'll show you guys where you can get the Venusaur. And like, here's a 9 that's up. 9s are they're a lot easier to find, but I would assume that we're not going to see any 10s show up on here. So like, if we look here, this is how you get the Black Star Venusaur. It was from a magazine, and they put this into the magazine, and the card was in there, and the card was in there loose. Not like there was no protection on the card. So it gets scratched up so easily. Like, they're all basically scratched up for the most part. I don't even know how many 10s of these exist, but you would get this, and then like the card would be in here inside this thing. You'd have to rip it open to get the card out. And then like, here's a 9 that's up for auction. So we can actually throw this on this watch list, and I could check that out later, what that goes for. But that's the Black Star Venusaur. So if we go to PSA card, and we can go through the populations here, and we can actually see what that Venusaur population is. The Eevee is only a population of 8 in a PSA 10, and then the Venusaur, we can pull up here, Venusaur, and then Black Star. If I can pull it up. Sometimes the search function works good, sometimes it doesn't. Looks like we got it, actually. So here's like the Wizard of the Coast Black Star promo lineup. And if we go to Venusaur, we're going to see like Venusaur right here. There's only 6. There are only 6. There's 207 9s. There's 185 8s. So the odds of getting a 10 is like so difficult on that. And then the Eevee, as we mentioned, there's only 8 of those that exist as well. So at this very moment in time, if you wanted to have the complete Black Star promo set, there could only ever be at the moment 6 complete sets that could even possibly exist, and they're not even going to be 6 that exist at this moment. So it's a very difficult set to complete, mainly because of the Venusaur and that Eevee. But yeah, hopefully that answered your question, and I do like diving in deeper to the questions that you guys ask. So, like I said, I'm here to help you guys out. I'm here to answer your guys' questions and help everybody kind of grow their collection or grow their knowledge of Pokemon cards. So let's move on to the next question here. Hopefully you guys are having a good time in this live. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button. It really helps out the channel, helps out the series and the video. But other than that, we're going to move on to the next question here. So, all right, this is cool. This is from Junior. And this question is, what grade do you think this will get? I just found it after years of being in my basement in a box. Like, this is like the coolest thing, right? In your basement, in a box, found it after years being down there. Like, this could be something where you found it and like you didn't really collect Pokemon cards anymore. Like, maybe this was when you were a kid. Like, these stories, I love these stories. So you guys feel free to send like kind of like questions with like a story to it. And I can tell you right now already, just seeing this pictures, you guys are gonna want to check this out. Like, this is actually really cool to see this. So I'm gonna pull this up. There's a bunch of pictures for this that you guys would definitely want to see to help like with the question. Anyway, here it is. A base set 2 Charizard was found in a box by Junior. And you want to know what the card will get. Well, right away I could tell you the card centering is it's really good. It has 10 PSA 10 centering for sure. Now, if we look here, it's hard to see hollows in different lighting, but I could actually zoom in really close to this. I can see scratches. So like at first glance, you might think like, oh wow, this card doesn't have any scratches on it. It looks super clean. It looks perfect on the front, but no, like if I go in here and I get really close, like I could actually see these scratches on here, like up and down and like all over here. And that's what I could just see on that lighter part. But it's hard to see everything, right? Because of the different lighting. But I would say right off the bat, there is scratches. So that's definitely going to drop it to at least a 9. And actually, I could see now that I'm even getting closer is this edge wear, the silvering, as people call it. It's called silvering because you could see the hollow part of the card coming through the border on the sides there. And I actually see it throughout here. So with that in mind as well, that could even kick it down to an 8. But we got the main thing now that we have to look at is the back. So I'm going to go to the back of this card. We have more angles. So yeah, you can even see it better here with the angle of this one. You can see some scratches. You can even see a little bit right there as well. And then if we move, I love this zoom feature on here, by the way. And if you guys can the higher quality, the better lighting on the pictures will really help determine things. So that's one thing that I forgot to mention is like when you send your photos, try to get it as best quality as you can, because that's really going to determine like if we can actually help you see what a card might grade. So with that stuff in mind, that could either be like down to an 8 already, and then the back, right? So these are really good photos, but we could take a look at the back here, and I can zoom in. So we got some whitening on there. We have some down there. We actually have a decent amount on that side as well, and we can actually get a better shot here of the whitening down there. So with all this in mind, I would say this card most likely would be in the 8 range. Now this whitening down here could slip it down a little further, but I would say about an 8 would be my guess on that card. That's an awesome find. And then like besides that, I know people would like to know the value of their card. So then if we go like PSA 8 base to Charizard, we can kind of give you an idea of what it's worth. And if this was a card that you pulled as a kid, I would keep it, right? Like if you want to grade it, go for it. But like I would recommend keeping the card. So it looks like the lowest priced card that you can find this is about $300 or best offer, or so like $300 price range most likely on that one. You might be able to get it down a little bit lower if we go to end it recently on here and see what some sold for. So like this one went for $250. That one went for $143, but they listed it. They might have listed it a little bit low, not knowing that they could get more for it. So about $275, I would say $250, $275 up to around that range. That would be the going rate for that card. So that's an awesome find. Congrats on that. Hopefully that answered your question, but about a PSA 8 would be my guess on there. So let's move on to the next question. Hizoka is in the house. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Super chat. 310 Wizards of the Coast Black Star sets are complete. Maybe 1 to 2 more. That's awesome. Thank you for that information. So I'm going to assume someone like Gemmit Pokemon has one of those sets. And then I'm not sure who else would have those completed, but maybe like TCA Gaming or something like that. Oh, you actually wrote them in there. Oh, I was on point. Yeah, TCA Gaming, Gemmit Pokemon, and King Pokemon Master. Yeah, awesome. So yeah, big collectors there for sure. Yeah, so 3 that we know of. Maybe there could be a couple more out there. You never know. But awesome to share that information. It's always cool when people in the chat like are also throwing in the knowledge that they know about. So it's an open discussion, as I always say. So if you guys have more relevant things to throw in, like throw it in. But oh, Gold, what's going on? Thank you for joining up here. So we're going to move on to the next question. We have, okay, so this is a cool question. I haven't read the full thing yet, but I can already tell it's going to be a cool one. So this is from Mario. This is a collecting question. And the question, or the goal is to collect favorites from new and old. And the question is, I have a legendary collection reversed holo Charizard. I somehow missed the legendary collection when I was collecting, but I saw on eBay a couple packs for 15 bucks a few years ago. The pack that I had, the Charizard, had damage to all the cards inside. There's a big indent in the middle of the card. The centering is good, and the edges and everything. I'm definitely going to get it graded, but I don't know what I may get. Can you help me? Yeah, I can absolutely help you with that. So that's a cool backstory. I love when you guys throw in like some backstory about stuff. Like you found those, and the pack was like weird, and it had like damage to it, but you got it cheap. So what we do here is we're going to throw it up on the screen. A beautiful card. For sure. If you guys don't know Legendary Collection, I mean, that's a set that I definitely enjoy. And I know people have mixed opinions on it, but right here is the Legendary Collection Charizard. I'll let you guys take a look at that while I take a sip here from the Mickey Mouse the Mickey Mouse cup. It's got the fireworks pattern on there. Centering is beautiful. Came packed fresh. That had damage to the cards, though. I don't see the damage at the moment, but maybe we can look on the back, and voila, there it is. That is a significant dent to that card there. If you guys could see that, that's as far as I can zoom in on this. So I think some of the photos I can zoom in more, I guess the higher quality. So the higher quality you guys send, the better. So I can't get any closer on that one, although this picture is very nice. So right out the bat, if you got something like that, where it's like a dent, a crease, a bend, you're automatically going to drop to a 6, without a doubt. Now, with that one, it's like, it almost looks like part of the card is like dug out, or it's just really, really like pressed in, like somebody got like, maybe like a pen or something. Maybe not a pen because it would have left pen ink, but like something like that where it just like went across it. So auto deducts down to a 6 on that. And you have a little bit of whitening up there, some stuff like that. So, I mean, other than that dent, which it's a shame it has that, but it's still a beautiful card. And on the front, it almost looks like you can't see it on the front, really. I mean, unless I'm not seeing it, but like, or just maybe from the photo, but it should be right here somewhere. And I'm not seeing it. So, something like that drops to a 6. So, I probably would say it would probably get a 6 on that. So, and then if you're wondering like what that would be worth, I always like to go through here and do PSA 6 Legendary Collection Charizard, and we're going to put reverse because it's a reverse. And we're not seeing anything. But we do see, actually we do have one from International Seller. And let's see. We have one that sold for $550, about $600 US with shipping. Let's see if there's any listed. So PSA 6 Legendary Collection Charizard reverse. Not seeing any listed at the moment. So it's a random. It's not like there's going to be a ton of these in PSA 6 on the market. So I could even look for like maybe like a 7 might come up. Not really. Okay. Maybe 500, 600 ballpark or so. It's tough to say exactly with that one, but I mean, it's an awesome card either way. And that's a huge come up from a pack they got for 15 bucks. So congrats on that. But all right, so let's move on to the next question in this live Q&A hangout session for Pokemon cards. I mean, we all love Pokemon cards here. So if you do, come hang out here every Saturday morning. All right, so let's move on to the next one. We got... So Joshua, the question's under other. When was the second reprint? Because I remember on Black Friday I got buy one get one Hidden Fates tins at Target and obtained them with a 3% cash back with the Target credit card, totaling them at $9.50 a tin. Yeah, that is awesome. I remember that Black Friday Hidden Fates. Target had like a huge sale on them. They were doing the buy one get one, and then you could like couple it with like if you have like a Target red card. And stuff like that. And even like, that's something else that I should really actually hit on. I should probably do that. So I'll hit on that in a second here. So The reprint, I think it was, I don't even remember when the reprint was. The second reprint, it wasn't that long ago. I mean, I feel like it was like a couple months ago. So it wasn't like it was way after the Black Friday stuff. So yeah, that's cool. You got it for $9.50 a tin. I mean, that's less than distributor pricing on those. So it's a really good deal. But so in terms of like getting the best price for stuff, I want to go over something with you guys because I think it's actually really important here. So there's something called eBay Bucks. Okay. So I'm going to switch the screen back over to eBay. There's certain things that you guys want to take advantage of here. So this will be like a little side type of like information that you guys can get. A little segment, if you want to call it that, right? And I think it's very important for people that are buying these things. You should be aware of this stuff. So eBay has something called eBay Bucks. And you can see it right here. I don't know if you can see it very well, but it's called eBay Bucks. And you get these when you purchase things off of eBay. So if I purchased this card here, the Black Star Venusaur, and I paid the price on here, I would get $5.19 back in eBay Bucks. So with that being said, when you purchase things through eBay, you'll accumulate these eBay Bucks, and sometimes they'll have specials that you have to enable, right? You have to enable the specials inside of the promo that they send out to you. So you get eBay Bucks that sometimes it goes up to like 10% back, which is huge. So like you could get a lot of money back on this stuff here. So if you spend $1,000 on eBay and they have a 10% eBay Bucks, like you could literally get $100 off of that you can use. I think it's like every quarter they send them out. So you get that $100 and you can use that for other stuff on eBay, whatever you want. That's one of the ways that you can actually save money. Now, on top of that, you can get the eBay credit card. So if you guys don't know, there's an eBay credit card that will actually give you 5% extra points as well. So not only that though, there's another thing that I use as well. So you get the eBay Bucks, you can get the eBay credit card to get 5% back as well, or 5x points or whatever they give you on there. But besides that, there's a website that I use. It's called Swag Bucks. So Swag Bucks right here is a website that'll actually give you cash back. So I can't log in right now because I don't want to show my information. But Swag Bucks will actually also give you points, and they'll have it. I think a lot of times it'll be 2% for eBay. So what you do is you go to Swag Bucks, you sign up on here. And again, guys, I'm just going to reiterate, I'm not affiliated with any of these websites, any of this stuff whatsoever. It's just stuff that I use, and I want to share the information with you guys. So go to Swag Bucks, sign up, and hit the link to eBay through there, and you'll get, sometimes it's like 2%. Sometimes during the holidays, they'll jack it up to like 5%. So you'll literally get eBay Bucks, which can be anywhere from 1% to like 10%. You get Swag Bucks that could be anywhere from like 2% to 10% back. You get the credit card, you can get like an extra amount of points, and it all adds up, guys. On top of that, and then if you have a business, right, and you're purchasing for business purposes, for buying and reselling, like you could actually get the eBay tax exempt form status, which like when you purchase on eBay, you won't have to pay sales tax as long as it's a business related expense that another consumer at the end will end up paying on that. So you guys have to think about all these little things adding up to percentage wise could go anywhere from like saving 1% to like, believe it or not, like up to 30% with just doing these simple techniques. Swag Bucks, eBay credit card, business tax exempt. If it is business related, it has to be business related for a resale purpose only. In that regard, unless you have some other sort of qualification. Yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys. I think it's really important. All right, we're gonna move on to the next question here. So, Nyan actually has a question in the live chat. Do you think it would be cool if you made a video series about eBay and helping people shop on eBay and tips? I think that would be awesome. So that was like a little tip segment that I wanted to throw in there for you guys. I think that's really important, but I think that's a cool thing to bring up there is maybe I could do a whole series on like shopping on eBay and shopping on these different places and finding like deals and stuff like that. That would maybe help you guys. And yeah, let me know #yes in the chat if you would want to see it like something like that. And I have different sort of live series ideas that I've been thinking, but right now it's just this main Q&A session with throwing in different topics, but I definitely can do more types of live things related to like the market and buying and selling and stuff like that if you guys want to see that. So again, guys, I listen to your guys' comments all the time. So when this video live is over, if you are watching the live version of this, go into the comment section afterwards. Give me, like, share, if you want to share your ideas for different types of these things that we can do here in the PokeCave. I'm always listening to you guys, just so you're aware of it. Even though I might not see all of the live chat right now, I always go through and I read through everything afterwards, and I get an idea of how you guys are feeling about the different series and stuff like that. So I appreciate that. I appreciate the cool idea there. Let's move on to the next question. So next question is going to be from James. Question, the goal is to collect a master set of all the Sword and Shield sets. That's awesome. The question is, firstly, I would like to say me and my wife and kids love your channel. We've been watching ever since you sent that gift package to Unlisted Leaf, and I've been fans since. Well, thanks so much. I appreciate that. And thank you for finding the channel through Ando, another amazing content creator. So my wife found this card from when her and her brother used to collect 20 years ago. Okay, hold on a second. I just gotta say, I love these stories. Like, I love when people find stuff. Like, you guys have to share that with me. So, like, share the stories. And, like, that's another thing that I could do a whole different live video on if we have enough people that have stories like that. But, like, share the stories. Like, share the finds. Like, we want to hear about it here in the PokeCave. I think it's the coolest thing ever. But my wife found this card from when her and her brother used to collect 20 years ago, and was wondering if it's worth grading or not. Thanks a lot, and I hope you get to my question this week. Absolutely. So we got to check it out. We got to see what we have, what the find was, like what your wife found, and see if it's worth grading or what the deal may be from 20 years ago, right? So you got to think 20 years ago. Let's switch over here. We got Blaine's Moltres from Gym Challenge Unlimited. That's an awesome card. I mean, Blaine's Moltres in general. So looking at the front here, the front looks really good. So, well, we're going to zoom in. So look, as soon as I zoom in though, you can see the scratches. And thank you for the high quality photo. And we can actually see, like, if we look over here, if I can get closer on that, we can actually see, like, it's like kind of peeling up on the front of the card. So that could be a sign of like humidity or moisture or something like that, which, it's not the worst thing because the card on the front still looks really nice, but you will see like the scratches and stuff like that. Light scratches all throughout the hollow for the most part. So the front though, overall, we're going to look at the centering. If I can get zoom back out here, centering is really good. I mean, it's almost spot on. So you have that going for it, but you have like that on the edge there. You have some scratches on the front, but let's check the back out. And yeah, so we could actually see on the back here, there is a lot of edge wear, and you can actually see like that's peeling up on that side as well. All throughout the corners, all throughout the edges. There's some dirt on there, and you got a lot over here. You might even have a crease on this card, but it's tough to say. I assume they would count these as like creases and bends, so automatically down to a 6 because of that, and then further down because of the edge wear. So you'd probably be talking something like a PSA 4 would be my guess on this card. And you guys let me know in the chat what you think. But so a PSA 4 on that one, I would assume, and we probably can't find much sales data on that, but we will take a look. Blaine's Moltres from Heroes. And then I'm going to do minus first because it's not a first edition card. So you can actually take out other results that you don't want to see in there. So yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I put PSA 9. I meant to put PSA 4. I believe I said it would probably be about a 4 or so. So yeah, we can't even find anything on like a 4. Maybe we could find a 5. Nothing on a 5. Maybe something like a 6. Unless I spelled something wrong here. I feel like this should be coming up by now. Probably did something weird. No, nothing's coming up. Interesting. What about a 10? I don't know what's going on. For some reason, I'm not getting any results at all for this card. That's weird. Okay, I'm not getting any results on it, so I mean, it's not going to be worth much, but it will be cool in terms of like having the card like from your childhood. So we could see here like an 8 sold for $55, so you got to think like a 4 maybe being like the $20 range or something like that if I had to guess. A 7 sold for $42. So yeah, like probably in that range, but like overall, just like having that nostalgia, like aspect of it, like you had that card as a kid, right? And then it's like you found it in the basement, you put it in the PSA grade, and like you have it forever. Like that, in terms of that, that would be worth grading it for. But thank you for the question. Congrats on that cool find there. I think it's really cool when people share that, their stories and everything like that. So, El Cannon with the super chat. I have pulled 3 shiny Charizards from Hidden Fates now. That's awesome. And graded PSA 10 prices are high. Do you think they will go higher? Hold or sell? So with the shiny Charizard GX and just modern stuff in general, you have to think like right now, the in terms of like what's available on the market is lower because PSA was closed down. So you have to think almost like there's a huge backlog at PSA of these cards that are sitting there that need to be graded, right? And then on top of that, of course, we have like the reprints and stuff like that coming through. So I would say, you know, it's tough to say exactly. We can't predict the future. Like we can try to guess things and judge it the best we can, but we can do PSA 10 Charizard GX, and we'll do Hidden Fates, and we'll see like what comes up at the moment. And like I want to exclude Japanese, so minus Japanese as well. And then I want to put shiny. Hopefully most people put shiny in that, so that way we can narrow it down like the most. So but we could see like shiny Charizard has been all over the place for the most part. But if we go to what's available right now, lowest first, we could see that the cheapest PSA 10 is at auction right now, and it's at 1,400 at the moment. But there's still a day left, and there's another one around 1,400 with another day left. But then there's one at 1,600 or best offer. So you can almost assume that it's in the $1,500 range. But then like you have this one that it's at 1,700 with a bid already. But like you're seeing new listings. Like this one says new listing. There's like you have to think right now. Like you guys have to see all of these Charizards that are up right now. There's a lot, right? So the more supply, it goes back to supply and demand. The more oh, I'm sorry, I didn't even switch the screen over. I apologize. So I'll show you guys right here. The shiny Charizards that are up, 1,400 with a day left. Another 1,400 with a day left. 1,600 best offer. So, in the 1,500 range, but like I'm scrolling through here and these are all that are listed for sale right now. And then if we go to actually what has been sold, we can go back by 5 months. So we can do ended recently. We could see like 1,600, and then there's like a bunch of best offers, 1,300, 1,500, 1,800, 1,000. Well, that's a Beckett 9.5. Don't count that one. 1,300, 1,500. So like we're in like the 1,300 to 1,500 range, 1,300. But if we keep going back, we could see if it goes, if the price was lower. So now we're getting into like 1,200. We're going back to June. Now we're down to 1,000. We're back in June. We're like lower. We're still at 1,000, 1,200. 1,000, 950. We're moving into the beginning of June, like about a month ago. We're down to 950 from today. A month later, we're at 1,500. So we're still going back. We're getting down to, we saw some 850s. We see 800 now. We're in the middle of May. We're at 950 best offer. 500 or best offer. 600 sold. So we're going even lower. We're at 600. We're back in April now. Back in April, and the furthest back we can go is April 12th, which was 3 months ago, sold for about $570. So you got to think 3 months ago, they were about $500, $600. And now they are around $1,500. So within 3 months, went from 500 to 1,500. So it's really tough to say, guys. It's really tough to say what's going to happen. But my opinion is that there's going to be more coming on the market. All right. I would just be careful. But you have to take into consideration what's available. Like we said, so if we go to new lowest first, we got to look at that, and we kind of take a look and we see like 1,500. If you want to go on eBay right at this very moment, you could probably get one for about $1,500. All right, but as more come on the market, people undercut each other, and people want a better price. But as of now, it's been steady increasing, but we don't know for 3 months. We have 3 months history on eBay, but we don't know what exactly is going to happen next. Like, what's the next step here? Is PSA going to start pumping these out? But the other thing you have to look at is the PSA population report. And then you can also look at Pokemon Price. If you guys don't know, Pokemon Price is a website that a gentleman created. I believe his name is Pierce. So shout out to you for creating this website. But like we can go on here and we could actually get even more history, because I think it's important, because a lot of people are looking into this shiny Charizard GX and trying to figure out what's going on here. But where's Hidden Fates? Hidden Fates. Okay. So look, if we go on here and we search for Charizard GX, we want the shiny full art. There it is. So we actually have pricing data on here and population reports. So I don't even know, I don't need to go on PSA for that, because on here we could look at it and the prices. So the population, there's over 1,000 of these in a PSA 10, and don't forget there's Beckett versions of this as well. Okay, and then besides that, you got to look at how many are getting the 10 compared to how many are getting the 9s and 8s. Like, there's only 54 that got an 8. So if you pull a shiny Charizard GX, you're basically, like, at that point almost guaranteed that you're going to get a 9 or higher at this point. I mean, there's like 60 cards that are 8 PSA 8 or less, and then there's like over 1,400 cards that are a 9 to 10 range. So you almost have to think, like, if you pull that card, you're getting a 9 or 10 at that point. If you're like super unlucky, you'll get an 8. But other than that, like, you're going to get the 9. So we could actually narrow it down by, I believe we can do 10. So we take out all these other prices. Take all these out. Take all these out. Take the 3s and 2s out. And then here we go. So it all started back in October of 2019. The first 10 of PSA sale prices were up there at 1,300 to 1,400. But of course you can't forget that Beckett Black Label that went for 10 grand and you know, that whole thing. We don't track the Beckett stuff on here. This is just for PSA, but it's a good idea to go off of. So, and then we just see the crash down, right? So like it crashed down, crash down to 500. And then we're like at this 400 to 500 to 600 range for like many months here. So December, January, February, March, April, like the card was just at $500 in a 10. Like, and I remember I pulled this card and I was like, you know, if this got a 10, it'd be $500. And that's what it's always been. And then all of a sudden, right here in April, we start seeing an uptick, which is the last 3 months that I showed you guys earlier. So we're seeing an uptick, 700, 900, 800, you know, moving up to 1,000, 1,200, you know, 1,400, back up. So now we're back up, and we actually surpassed this like 1,300 starting range back when the card was first released, and we're up to, we're at like a $1,500 range here, right? So that's where we're at. But you can also see, like, I think I could zoom in. Oh, nice. I can zoom in. So, but you can also see the other thing is that it's kind of all over the place, right? So like we see like a 1,200 to sale, then 1,800, then a 15, then a 1,000, like it's all over. So, but for here, it was more consistent. So, you know, it was a little bit more, a little bit all over, but not really, because the pricing range was a lot lower in terms of like how much, you know, it went up and down. But like you can see like here, it's more all over the place, right? So, and then we look at the population. So this also keeps track of the populations of the cards. And if you guys don't know, the PSA 10s, it just means how many exist. Like how many PSA 10s exist, how many PSA 9s exist, right? So if we move back here, we can see, you know, 400 in December, and then it's like got an uptick, and it keeps moving up without any slowdown in sight. But really there was a slowdown a little bit here. Like you could kind of see here how it kind of like stalled a little bit, and like right here it actually stalled out back in like March. So right there, and then like right here a little bit, but it is kind of moving up. So we don't know, like PSA gets these if it's going to start coming up even higher, but the population report is about a little over $1,000 in the population. The 9s have, you know, 345. So keep that in mind, how many exist and the prices from before. Make sure you guys use this website, Pokemon Price, okay? It's a really good website. I highly recommend it. But we got a super chat from Big Philo. What are your thoughts on investing in sealed products with modern sets? I have a bunch of Unbroken Bonds and Burning Shadows blisters, and have pre-ordered 2 booster boxes of Darkness Ablaze. So, sealed modern, right? Right now, like we mentioned before, there's a big uptick in modern sets, like the whole market in general. But for modern, I tend to stick to like the most popular sets. So like Unbroken Bonds, I think is a good set. Burning Shadows is a good set. And then like the newcomer is going to be Darkness Ablaze. So like a lot of people are wondering, what's the deal with Darkness Ablaze? Like, should I buy Darkness Ablaze? Like what's going on? What's happening with it? So I did mention earlier that like the Elite Trainer boxes, the build and battle kits, the theme decks, that stuff is going to be like limited, right? As to like I think it's going to be limited just from what my distributor has told me. So there's not like 100% confirmation on that, but like in terms of like it being limited with the Elite Trainer boxes, I think those might be good, because if we look back at Hidden Fates, we're seeing those ones are worth like $250. So it depends on what they put in there, what the special card is, like, and that type of stuff. But I think Elite Trainer boxes for Darkness Ablaze might be great. It's going to depend on different factors, like the chase, like how difficult it's going to be. Like, is this Charizard going to be as difficult to pull as the shiny Charizard GX, which I'm thinking it won't be. Like, are there going to be gold cards? What exactly is happening with that? But I will also tell you that Darkness Ablaze, my distributor also told me that the pre-orders are like through the roof. People are really bullish with it, and they got to allocate like a lot of different things. So like the ETBs and that kind of stuff, or you can't just, I can't, like, if you're trying to get it from distributor, you can't just be like, oh, I want like 1,000 of these. It's like, you're not going to get that because there's so many pre-orders and there's only so much that Pokemon is making. So it's going to be tough to say. It's going to be tough to say, but from going from history, ETBs might be a good bet, right? But all right, so Play Chloe Play says, how can I send you a picture of the 3 cards I just found from my old collection? So if you guys are just joining up here, what you need to do is go down to the description of this video, click that first link, and it's a form where you can send your question in, and at the bottom, you can actually attach photos there. So if you have questions, and then you also have photos to go with the questions, make sure you throw it in there on the Google form. But we're going to move on to the next question here. All right, so next question is going to be, let's see, from Joker. It's a buying and selling question, and the goal is PSA versus Beckett. I feel I have an amazing Charizard shiny from Hidden Fates that could be definitely a PSA 10, but is a Beckett 10 more expensive? Yeah, so for the most part, and there's actually photos on here, so we'll pull up the photos as well. But for the most part, the Black Label card for the Charizard, and that's actually going to be a good idea to kind of jump into that as well and see like the difference in pricing. But like if we take a look at your Charizard here, so here's your shiny Charizard GX. I feel like we got a lot of photos of shiny Charizard GXs today. But here's your shiny Charizard GX, and the centering looks pretty good. Let me zoom out a little bit. I don't know if there's like some edge wear down there, but maybe not. Maybe it's just the lighting, but the centering's good. It's a little bit off left to right though, like a little bit. And then we can look at the back. And the back, just from looking at this photo really quickly, looks really clean. So a really clean card, maybe a potentially, maybe a Black Label, but I think that left to right centering is going to hold it back a little bit. So if you guys can see, like, that might be like a 9 or a 9.5 centering on that, but you never know. So if we move over, and I'll actually show you guys now, like, since we looked at the PSA 10s and we know the PSA 10s are going for about $1,500, we can go with the Beckett. So you put BGS 10 in, and the Beckett 10, we can kind of get an idea here of what these are going for. So we go to sold, and we kind of take a look here, and we'll put let's put like Black Label, because Black Label would be the most difficult to get, the most expensive for sure, and we can see if any have sold. So Black Label, and then we'll go to end it recently. So it looks like 11 have sold in the past 3 months, and we're seeing all the way back here in April, $2,700 for that Black Label. Then like $4,800 best offer. So you could see like the price immediately is like at least double here. $3,500 best offer. This one for $3,000 at the end of May. $3,600 in June. $3,300 or $3,250 in June. $3,750 at the end of June. So we're almost at current date. And as you can see, like $1,500. It's even more than double a PSA 10. And then all of a sudden, right? I heard about this one, and it went for. Apparently went for, nope, they relisted it. So there it is. This could have been a shield auction. If you guys don't know, a shield auction basically is where like there's an illegitimate bidder. So we can take a look here, and I'll show you guys how to tell if an auction has been shilled or not. But like we look at this, and we see like this person with 9 feedback brought it from 4,000 up to like 10,000 along with a few others. So like if we click on this person, we can actually see like, what you want to look for is how the bid activity, right? So like this has 21% bid activity with this seller. So it's really weird because a lot of times that'll be a lot higher for shield, but you never know because they could shill with other sellers. So we'll take a look at that one. We'll take a look at this person that also bid. They only had 6% bid activity. This person only had 2% bid activity, which is tends to not actually be a sign of shield at all. The only one that I would question is like this person with 9 feedback. That kind of brought it up a lot, but it's questionable. It's questionable. There's no like definite answer on that one. But a lot of times if you see a shield auction, it'll have like bid activity with the person 100%, meaning like they only bid with that seller. So that could be the seller had a fake account. But we can go here and see what's available now at current date. So we'll go highest to lowest, and this is the black label. So we got a lot for 10,000 or best offer because a lot of people are banking on like that $10,000 sales. So right here, this is actually really cool to see this right now, guys. This is really good. Right now, there's one up. It's at $5,000, but it ends in 31 minutes. So we will most likely see the end of this auction during this live. So we're going to keep track of this. All right. The 10,000, it's at $5,000. It's a perfect 10. So if you guys don't know, a perfect 10 black label, perfect 10 centering, perfect 10 edges, perfect 10 quarters, and perfect 10 surface. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to keep this up. I'll put up my watch list, but I'll also keep it up here. And within 30 minutes, we'll see what this goes for. It's at 5,000. We can kind of take a look at the bidding activity. I mean, this person has 13,000 feedback. So you got to think for sure that this is 100% legitimate because the bid activity is 0% with the seller. This person bids on so many different things that it's actually 0%. So put in 313 different items bid on in the last 30 days and 421 bids total. So that person is what I would count as like 100% legitimate person for the most part. I mean, you can't always be 100%, but that is like the best sign that you can look for. This person has only about 24% bid activity as well. So that's still really solid. So I would say this auction as of now, in my opinion, right? This is my opinion, is that it's 100% legitimate at the very moment for 5,000 at this very moment. All right. So we're going to keep track of that and see how that goes. And we're going to see. I'm curious. So guys in the chat right now, I want you guys to guess what this card's going to go for. Let me know, put like a number on what you think the price will be at the end of this auction in 30 minutes. And right now it's at 5,000. We saw one that we thought sold for 10,000, but it got relisted and we don't really know on that one, but most of the cards are up for 10 grand or best offer. So let me know in the chat. What do you think this will go for? What it'll end at? Put that in the chat. We'll take a look. And I'm just curious what you guys are thinking on it. Because right now I don't even know what to think, what it'll go for. It's got to be at least 5,000, but we don't know how much higher. So put that in there, and I'll move on to the next question as well, and we can kind of get a better idea of what other questions we have going on here. So let's move on to Jim Daddy. What's going on? This is a market question, and actually everybody's putting their guesses in right now. We got 7,000, 6,500, 7,300. That's 8,800, 5,600, 8,500. A lot in the $6,000 to $7,000 range. A lot of people are thinking. Some people are thinking up to 8. Some people got 9,400 on it. So put your guesses in, guys. If you're kind of curious to see what this goes for, I'm gonna say it's gonna go for 6,500. That's gonna be my guess. We'll look back and we'll take a peek back at that later in about a half an hour here. Okay, so. Hopefully you guys are having a good time hanging out here. We're going to move on. So the question from Jim, the goal is complete Wizard of the Coast master sets with some collecting with my little girl when she gets of age and my boy Evan. That's awesome. So including the kids with the collecting. So the question is, why is Unbroken Bonds so expensive / collectible? What are the big hits and what's the future of this set? So that's a good question. We can actually jump into that on here. And what I'm going to go is go to PokeCollector. Now, it does have the tag team cards, which you got to keep in mind. And one of the biggest of all the tag team cards in this set is, of course, the Reshiram and Charizard. So that's going to answer the main focus of your question there is what's going on with this set. Well, it's got the Reshazard, as we call it, Reshiram and Charizard tag team card, rainbow rare. I mean, people want that card. People want this card for sure. So what we do is we can actually go on eBay and I can actually show you what this card is going for in a PSA 10. PSA 10, Reshiram, Charizard. Let's see what we got on this one. and we're going to go to sold. We're going to go to sold, and we are going to go to what the card sold for recently. So this one was $550 or best offer. Another one, $560 or best offer, $550 or best offer. I'm not going to check like the exact sold price, but we can kind of get an idea. It's most likely going to be like in that $450 to $500 range. We can also go from lowest to highest on here and kind of get a better idea of this card. That's Japanese, so we want to see English. So what we can do is, if you guys don't know, you can actually take out terms that you don't want to see. So like Japanese, we'll take that out. So we're not going to get any Japanese results on here. And then like $615 our best offer, $475 if you want to buy one right now for a buy it now. That's Japanese. That still came up though. So like this is the cheapest one, $475. So that's one of the biggest ones. But you can also look at like PSA 10 unbroken bonds and see what else, because there's like a full art Blastoise, Rainbow Rare. I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff in here. So we could actually just go to sold, and then we can go to like highest price here. And what are your guys' opinions on that Reshiram Charizard? Do you think the price is lower than what you think it should be going for? Or do you think it's too high? Like, what do you guys think about that? But yeah, like that's like the biggest card in that. But the Blastoise is pretty popular too. And yeah, you can see like the Blastoise in the $200 range. And then of course, like I like this one. Like personally, I like the colors on these. Like the Rainbow Rares are really awesome and really hard to find, but like the color of this card, personally, I like it more than the Rainbow. But yeah, like, so somebody sent in photos of cards earlier and they thought it was fake. And yeah, like, so you can see like this one has the texture and everything on there. You can see like from the light reflections on that. But that one went for about $150 and I like it. I love this card. But yeah, it's a good set. Definitely a good set. It's one of the more popular, probably in the top 5 sets for the Sun and Moon era, in my opinion. Let's move on to the next question, guys. Hopefully you're having a good time here. Let's see what, and people are putting in what they think the card should be worth. What's going on, James? Good to see you here hanging out. Tom says, let's stream all day. Hey, let's do it. We're trying to make, these are like the longer format ones because I know you guys, from what I've seen, you guys have been enjoying them. So we're just going to keep them going and answer your guys' questions. Mystic Mew thinks that the Charizard should be more in the 250. Or it should be more if the box is over 250. Good point. That's actually a really good point. So El Cannon with the super chat. Thank you so much. If there is a reprint of Hidden Fates, will they make the cards as such different to differentiate the print runs? So to answer your question, they actually did a second print run of Hidden Fates, and they did not differentiate it. From what I know and from what I've heard, you can't differentiate the first print from the second print. Although from what I've seen, what I've heard, the second print run, the pulls are nerfed, meaning like it's harder to get big hits out of those. From pretty much all the openings I've seen, it's been across the board. And there is a confirmed another print run coming for Hidden Fates, and we don't really know like if there's going to be anything different on those, but from past reprints, nothing noticeable. If they did change like a date or something like that, or if there's anything to distinguish the print runs, that would be interesting. But at this point, no, we can't tell the difference between those. All right, next question. Next question. This is from the form in the link in the down below in the description. So, another cool question with photos. We got Jonathan. The goal is to grade some of my cards for the first time. The question is, hey PokeRev, should I PSA grade my Charizard Gold Star? Ooh. And would you recommend for someone to start with PSA for the first time now? I'm a little scared to ship my cards with the pandemic getting worse again. Your videos are awesome, by the way. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for being here, and thank you for the question. So, you want to grade with PSA for the first time. You're a little bit afraid to ship your cards out, right? So, the main thing is you want to insure it. So, you can always insure your card, your package that you send out. And you can always put signature on it as well. So, you have a Charizard Gold Star. Now, this is one of the most sought after Gold Stars. Probably the second most sought after for the most part Gold Star that is out there. And I'm going to pull this up on the screen here. Let's see. All right. We got a Gold Star showing up on here. That is awesome to see. I'm going to switch over the screen so you guys can check this out with me. We can zoom in on it as well. So, nice photo. Charizard Gold Star. The centering is looking really good. If you guys don't know, this is this is from Dragon Frontiers, the EX era of Pokemon. Gold Stars were like the king of the cards, like the toughest cards to pull. Like the pull rates on these were usually about 1 in every 2 boxes for just for a gold star. Not even saying that you'd get the Charizard. So it's tough. And for some reason, the second photo doesn't want to load, and it actually is being really weird right now. So I don't know why it's not working. I'll let that load out, and while I wait for that to load, I'll just skip over to the next question on here. So, all right, let's see what we got coming up next. So I don't understand what happens with this Google Drive. Sometimes it just like decides it doesn't want to work. This happened the last live where it just stopped working all of a sudden, and it would just like I'm just showing like the loading thing on there. So that's kind of a shame. Hopefully that'll catch up. So we'll do something else while we wait for that. But we're going to move into, we actually have a super chat question from Big Philo. And the question is, are X and Y evolutions worth investing in? Okay. Failed to sync network connection on there. That's really weird. I don't know why it does that. That happened last time too with the Google Drive. It's so strange. So we are going to see here. X and Y evolutions. All right, sorry, I got to get back on track here for you guys. So X and Y evolutions. So if you guys don't know, X and Y, where am I at here? Pokelector. There we go. So X and Y evolutions it was a really popular set that was printed to like oblivion. So it was just heavily printed, and it's just running out of stock at the warehouses now because it was printed back in the year 2016. And I'll pull the setup on here for you guys. So transition over there. And the set has some OG card reprints, not to mention the king of all the OG reprints. The Charizard base set card was reprinted. Like, this is sick. And this card, I believe last I checked, the card in a PSA 10 was like $600 or so. It's really difficult to grade. So you have that going for you. But of course, there are other Charizards in the set as well. The Charizard EX, you got the Mega Charizard as well in there. And I mean, guys, besides that, it's like an OG throwback. I mean, you got the original Black Star promos, you got Full Art Charizard, Blastoise, Venusaur, Mewtwo, just OG hollows. Like, this is like, if you want like a taste of base set, people go to Evolutions and grab it. So Evolutions for years has always been held back because of the huge supply, right? Like, most of the boxes going for like $90 for years and years and years, and we're finally seeing like an uptick in Evolutions now. So what I want to do is go to eBay and type in Evolutions booster box, and we're going to see what they're going for. So Evolutions, we're going to go to all categories on here as well. All right. And we're going to go to, I'm going to put Pokemon Evolutions because we're getting different results here. Pokemon Evolutions booster box. We're going to see what these are selling for at the very moment right now. So we have 120 plus $9 shipping brings us to almost 130. Then we had one for 112, free shipping, 110. So 110, 115, 130. So we're seeing, basically we're seeing like 110 to 130-ish on these, which we weren't seeing that before, right? Because if we go back to like oldest, so we're going to go back 3 months now, right? So we have to click newest, but then we can go to like the last page on here, and we go to page 2, and we go to page 2, and we can kind of see like what they were going for previously, and we kind of get an idea from there. So like 105, 100 a best offer, like 95, 100 a best, like these are all best offer for the most part. So like 3 months ago, they were in like the 90 to 100 range, and now they're pushing to like the 115 to 130 range. And it also depends on where you live in the world, because I know like in the UK, the prices are definitely higher for these because they're harder to get. So in terms of like the future growth on these, you got the Charizard base set card in there that is really just, it's really a good card. And I can actually check to see now if any have even sold, because if you guys check out the Charizard base set card from this set, it's super hard to grade. PSA 10 Charizard from Evolutions, right? So PSA 10 Charizard from Evolutions, we go to all categories, and we're going to see like the full art as well come up here, but we can kind of take a look and see if we find any of the original like base reprint card. There's the reverse for 200, Reverse is going for about 200 bucks. And like we're already back to April. So like we're not seeing any of these cards come up here on eBay because they're it's really hard to grade. But like you have other Charizards in the set, like the reverse 200, the full art like 150. So you have those going for it. I want to see if any of the Charizard regular print cards are on here listed. They're not. Like you can't even find one right now. Very interesting to see. There's not them. And if you look at these are pre-release or staff Charizards, which are worth the most. You don't pull those in the set though. But so like another thing we can do here is we can actually go back to PSA, and we can go to the pop. Actually, we can do Pokemon price. Let's do Pokemon price because it's easier. It's all there. And we're going to go to evolutions. So evolutions is going to come up. I can actually search it. Evolutions. All right. And we're going to show Charizard. And we're going to look at this, the regular Charizard Holo. Okay. So here it is. The evolutions Charizard, like reprint, right? So Charizard in a PSA 10 in this set, you have to realize this, right? Like this, I feel like this is really important for people to understand. There are only 150 of these cards graded in a PSA 10. If you look at the 9s, there are 2,787 of these cards graded in a PSA 9. I personally believe this is the main driving factor for evolutions, okay? If you're telling me that there's almost 3,000 9s, there's over 1,000 8s, there's 157s, right? So if we add all that up really quickly here, we're probably looking at about 5,000 almost, 4,500 maybe. Charizards that were graded, and you got to think most of these were pack fresh. Like most of them probably were pack fresh because it's not a difficult card to pull, but here's what the thing is, guys. It's a difficult card to grade. You have to think about that. Because if we go back and we look at the Charizard from Hidden Fates, right? Remember we looked at that earlier. The Charizard from Hidden Fates. And we see that the population and the cards that were graded. Oh, that's the wrong Charizard. We want Charizard. We want the shiny Charizard. Oh, I'm at the wrong page again. I'm lost. Where are we at? Evolutions. I got lost. We are looking at Hidden Fates, and we're looking at Charizard, which would be right here. Charizard. Shiny Charizard. Okay. Apologies, guys. So, shiny Charizard. Look at this. Remember we said there's over 1,000 in a PSA 10, right? There's only 345 at a 9. And remember I mentioned to you guys that you're most likely, like most of the cards are getting a PSA 10 because the print quality is much better than the other Charizard from Evolution. So if we look at that, the ratios are like unbelievably different here. You're talking 150 10s out of like almost 5,000 of these graded, of these regular Charizard reprints. And then if you're looking at the Hidden Fates Charizard, you're talking like 80% of them get a 10. 80%. And then if you look over here at the ratio, you're probably talking like 1%, 2%, something like that get the 10s. Like that is the insane like difference here. And if we look here at the population report, like the 10s, if I could pull up just the 10s here, like it's so hard to even see the 10s. I have to get rid of all these other grades because there's so many. But like here's the 10s over the years, like this. And you have to also think this is all the way back from 2017. So in the last like 3 or 4 years, there's only been 150 in a 10. And we can even go back to like, let's see when we hit 140. We hit 140 exactly a year ago in July of 2019. So in the past year, there's only been 10 of these graded in a PSA 10. Let's go 2 years. Let's go July 2018. July 2018. There's only about 120 of these that existed in July of 2018. So 30 of these graded in the last 2 years. 30 in the last 2 years. Now, and if we look back at this Chinese Charizard GX and we go to the population, there's been over 1,000 in the past 6 months. So we got to keep that in mind, right? We got to keep that in mind. It's a huge, vast difference here. But like, and then we go to the pricing, and the pricing, it's hard to narrow down on this because like we can't even find any sales for this in the last really in a long time, right? Because the only ones listed were for $500. So I'm gonna assume if anybody can get this card in a PSA 10, the next sale is gonna be probably a lot higher than 500. I see people are quoting 500, right? So that's why there's potential with evolutions, because you can open up evolutions. You can get the Charizards. I mean, it's not hard to pull the Charizard. The hard part is to grade it in a 10. That's where we're at with the set evolutions. That is the main driving factor, in my opinion, of evolutions. So if anybody gets this in a 10, let me know. I'm very curious to see what the next one that will be graded, because it's just like looking at this, there hasn't been any graded. There has not been a single one added to the population report in like 4 months here. In 4 months, not a single person got this in a 10. So we're going to see what the next one sells for eventually. Let's hop back over to that Charizard that we were watching. We're monitoring the Charizard from, I must exit off. Okay, so the Charizard from Hidden Fates, right? So PSA 10, Hidden Fates, Charizard GX. And we're going to go to auctions. So you can actually narrow it down as well through auctions. And where's the auction? There you go. Auction. And we're looking. Oh, I'm sorry. It was a Beckett, not a PSA. It was a Beckett. Beckett 10 Charizard that's ending soon. And last we looked at it, it was at 5,000. It's still at 5,000, guys. And there's only 10 minutes left. So we're going to see what that ends for as well. But we're going to move on here. And I'm still trying to get this Google Drive to load up. So it's really weird. But I'll move on because we actually have a question in the super chat here. So I can actually pull that up for you guys. So you can actually take a look at another question we have from Brett Pisola. Ghost Error Pikachu. Is that a good investment? I have 3. That's awesome. So the Ghost Error Pikachu, apparently you can only get it from a certain theme deck. And I'm going to see if I can actually pull that up on here. So let's go over here. Let's go to Ghost Pikachu. Ghost Pikachu. Ghost Stamp Pikachu. I don't even know if we're going to even be able to find it. So I'll put like Ghost Stamp maybe. So there we go. Okay. So Ghost Stamped Pikachu, for those of you who don't know, it was stamped and it has like, right, like so there it is, like it has the edition right there, but like you can't see it because it wasn't fully stamped very well. So it's called the Ghost Stamp Error Pikachu. And this one is up for 800 the best offer. We got another one going. It's on auction, ends in 4 days, and it is at $170. And the back is it's pretty beat up on the back. So this is looking like maybe like in the PSA like 4, 5 area. So it's almost at 200 though on that. And then we look at something like Beckett graded Ghost Pikachus are in the like they're up for $1,500 or best offer. But let's see if we can go to sold here and see what we have as like ones that have been sold. So like a Beckett 9 went for 900 or best offer. We have a bunch selling for in like the $200 range, the $300 range, depending on the condition. This is a card that I don't really know, honestly, what's going to happen with this card. It's kind of like a niche type of card. A lot of people don't know a ton about it. And yeah, it's one of those cards where there's a decent amount on the market. And it's really like you're really speculating on something like this. But the market does seem to be absorbing a lot of these. So there's not that many right now, but there were a bunch sold earlier. So, but a lot of people do word them differently. So there might be more listed that I'm not even seeing here. But yeah, keep that in mind. And honestly, I'm not too sure about, what exactly the future might hold for those, unfortunately. But let's see if we can move into another question here. I'm going to try to move back. It's a shame that I can't I don't know if anybody knows anything about Google Drive, let me know. This happened last time too, where it just all of a sudden my Google Drive, that's where I take the questions on the form, but all of a sudden I get like a network error and it doesn't want to load up anymore for whatever reason. So we're gonna move back over here because I do want to see what this Charizard is gonna end at. And also, guys, for now, since I can't get my Google Drive to open up, I'm going to go into the live chat and start answering questions in there. And normally I don't do live chat questions because it's difficult to manage and see who's asking the questions. And there's also not the option for photos, but I'm going to do that for now for the rest of this, unless my Google Drive starts working. Unfortunately, I can't. It's just giving me a loading bar now all of a sudden. That's what happened last time. But so let's dive into here. So Demon says, can anyone tell me if a Beckett 9.5 Gem Mint is worth regrading through PSA and what the chance of it getting a 10 would be? So 9.5s for Beckett, it's possible that you could cross grade it to a 10 from PSA. I wouldn't say it's like super likely though. There's a lot of things you have to consider what the subgrades would be. So if you guys are curious to look at like what a Beckett 9.5 kind of looks like, we can go in here and we can do BGS 9.5, and we can kind of go through and pull that up and do 9.5 Pokemon. And we can kind of see like, so a Beckett 9.5, we go to all, and we go on here, and we could see like some of the cards have different subgrades. So we pull this one up. Like here's a Charizard first edition base, and that one has 9.5s on the edges, the surface, the corner. It's considered a Gem Mint by Beckett, okay? And the centering on that is a 9, right? So you kind of have to think PSA is going to have to look at this. They're going to look at it like as it's encapsulated. So it's kind of hard for them to see everything that's going on with the card on top of that, as well as they're kind of like I don't know what the right word is, but they're already like subjected to what the grades were, or what Beckett assumed the grades would be. So it's almost like they're kind of like inclined to see what Beckett thinks the card is. But it is possible to cross a 9.5 to a 10. It's not like the easiest thing in the world, but it is possible. It all depends on the subgrades. But like this one, you can clearly see that it's off center left to right here. So like that to me, I would say doesn't have it does not have a chance to cross to a PSA 10, because like when you see a centering that's off as much as that is, you have to assume that PSA is not going to bump it to the 10. So it really depends on the card inside of like the graded, card that's in there. So let's move on to another question. I'm just grabbing it from the live chat right now because that's the only thing that we can do at the moment. So let's see what the next question would be. Adrian says, what tips would you suggest for me? I found a box of my base set hollows I collected as a kid, about 60. What tips do you have in regards to trying to sell them or seeing what they're worth? So what I would do is I would pull out probably all the hollow cards first, since you have 60 in there from base set. I'm going to assume most of them are unlimited. Maybe you have some shadowless, but take out the cards, start with the hollows, and kind of go through like we do here in the PokeCave and look at the cards and see what you think the card may grade. So like if you have, for example, let's just say you have let's go with Venusaur. Venusaur PSA like 8 from base, unlimited. You can kind of see through that what the card may be worth. So like DA Card World has one up for $215 or best offer for Venusaur base unlimited, and you can kind of like appraise your cards that way. But like, so a bunch sold for like 150, 185 or best offer, and go through it like that. Start with the hollows, like the higher end cards, and work your way down through that. And if you need help with it, you can always send it on the form here live. So we can actually help you out here as well, because a lot of people also do that. So yeah, definitely go about it that way for sure. And let's see what that Charizard is looking like. So we're coming down to the last few minutes here. I want to leave this on the screen. So for those of you who don't know, there's a Beckett, a BGS 10 pristine black label Charizard Shiny GX that's going to be going off in 2 minutes here. It's at $5,000. And we kind of want to monitor this to kind of see what this actually goes for. It seems like all the bids on this are legitimate at the moment. So All right, so let's see. Let's move along here and see what more questions that we have. We're just grabbing it from the live at the moment, so let's see. Um, let's see. We have not a question, but I just wanted to say thank you. Oh, I lost it. That's why I don't do the questions on the live chat, because it moves so quickly I can't see them. But at this moment, this is the only option that I have right now, because my Google Docs just decided not to work anymore at the moment. But oh, we do have a super chat though. So Snorlax is hungry. Thank you so much for the super chat. I truly appreciate it. Hey Rev, me and my fiance have a lot of Pokemon merch. What's the easiest way to sell them? Would you help a friend out? Been thinking of doing a live or something. eBay has not been seller friendly. So you have, I'm assuming when you say merch, Poke merch, let me know exactly what you mean by that. Are you talking about merches in like for your channel? Like merches in apparel, like shirts, like mugs and stuff like that? Or do you mean merch as in like you have merch and it's like official Pokemon merch? Let me know. I'll try to see if I could grab your other follow-up comment down here and see what and see what that is. So I'm gonna move into another question as well. We got while I wait for you to answer that. James Smart with the super chat. Thank you so much. Hey Rev, yesterday I pulled a Mewtwo GX Labs card from the Shining Legends. Is this still a card worth grading? Would you grade BGS for that black label? So if you guys don't know, also known as like I think they call it like the test tube Mewtwo from Shining Legends. It's one of the coolest cards in there. It's a secret rare. But hang on a second. Before I answer that, we gotta let's see what this goes for. This is kind of exciting here. So it's at $5,000. It's the black label Shiny Charizard GX, and we're gonna see what this ends at. It's at 5,000. We're gonna see if anybody like last minute snipes this. Remember guys, the PSA 10 is going for about $1,500 at the moment. The black label is supposed to be like the highest grade, the highest tier, moved up to 5,100. Is that gonna end it, or are we gonna get a last minute snipe on that? We have ended at 5,100, so it only bumped another $100. So guys, if you could see, we're getting current market price on this at the moment, which seems to be a legitimate buyers. 1% bid activity, like all the bid activity is very low, meaning that I'm only going to assume that this is legitimate. So as of now, $5,000 for the black label Charizard, Shiny Charizard GX market price, which what I would assume is it's at the moment. So that's pretty cool to see. That's sold at that price, around $5,000. So that's to give you an idea. $5,000 and 1,500 on the PSA 10. I'm going to move actually back really quickly, and I will get to James, your question, but I want to move back really quickly to Snorlax is hungry with the question. And Snorlax is hungry said that they have mostly cards, plushies, and pins. So we're looking at like actual Pokemon merchandise here. And so what we want to do is, eBay has not been seller friendly to you, right? So I'm assuming that maybe people tried to scam, and you know, on top of that you have the fees and stuff like that. But you have to consider that eBay is the largest marketplace for buying and selling online for collectibles and things of that nature. Obviously, Amazon is going to be the biggest in terms of like sales amounts and sales volume, but you also do have to consider Amazon as well is going to have those fees. Like you're probably looking at like 12 to 15% fees at least on these platforms. But you have to also consider that you're getting the biggest audience, you're getting the biggest amount of people coming through to put eyes on your actual products. The other avenue that you can go down, of course, is like creating your own website. So obviously guys, you probably are familiar by now with ThePokéCave.com. It's one of my selling platforms, and this is kind of where I will sell a lot of different well, right now I only have the box openings on here, but I am going to be putting another tab up here where you'll actually be able to purchase things like you're saying, like different types of sealed products, stuff like that. I've just been super backed up and I haven't had a chance to do it, but you guys are actually seeing me doubled up on the screen right now, so it's kind of like trippy. But so besides that, you can create your own website, your own brand. So like right now I do have merch. I just have a limited print run of Alien Luck t-shirts, where, you know, you could do stuff like that. You can have your own website, but really the thing is, if you have your own website, you have to think about the traffic. So how are you going to get traffic over to your website? Are you going to be bringing in like viewers from your YouTube channel? Like how is that going to work? Because if you just have a standalone website, it's not easy whatsoever to bring traffic over to that site. You need alternate methods to bring people over to you to know that you have a website, that you have things. So you're going to need things like Instagram, right? You can sell on Instagram. You can do things like a YouTube channel. You can do all these different things and bring it together and create your own like brand. But other than like eBay, Amazon, and then like creating your own website and Instagram, besides that, it's just local, really. That's the only thing I can think of. Or if you want to auction stuff off on PWCC, but if you're talking like pins and plushies, you can't do that. So those are basically going to be your only options. It's kind of like you're stuck with eBay unless you can create like your own brand recognition outside of that. But moving on to James's question. So guys, if you don't know the Mewtwo, I'm going to move back to the website PokeLector. And I just always use this website. So PokeLector, and I'm going to switch the screen back over. So we're talking about Shining Legends, the Mewtwo. So for those you don't know, I'll pull it up on here really quickly. The Mewtwo GX Secret Rare, number 78 out of Shining Legends. It's an awesome card, like overall. And basically the question was, is it still a card worth grading? Would you grade it with Beckett for that black label? So number one, you have to consider what the condition is of the card. A black label is a lot more difficult to get than just a regular PSA 10. It's like a next tier up. So with that being said, if the card looks flawless to you, like perfect, or very close to perfect, I would send it to Beckett. But we can actually get pricing data on here. So we do PSA 10 Mewtwo, and we look to from Shining Legends. Mewtwo, Shining Legends. PSA 10 Mewtwo Shining Legends. We're going to take out Japanese. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to Awe. And we are going to go end it recently on here. And we're going to take a look at it. So the last one that sold was for $400 or best offer. So what you want to see what that is. This is from Charles Andrew. So $400 or best offer. We can actually go to watch count. If you guys don't know, watch count keeps track, right, of like all of the things that have been sold, and you can kind of see like if it did sell for a best offer, what it actually sold for. You just click on there and you click what the true price was on eBay. So it went for $350. So about a $350 card in a PSA 10 from the most recent sale, which is still really good. I mean, that's a solid price. So I would definitely grade it if you think you can get the 10 on there. But then if you're talking about BGS, I'll just put that and see if any even come up. So there's just some 9s that showed up, Japanese. So we can't really get much pricing data on that. But like, if you think it'll get black label, it's going to be worth more than $350 in the PSA 10 because it's more difficult to grade that. Okay, so let's move on. We actually have another super chat here from El Cannon. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the super chat. This is a great channel, PokeRev. I feel like I am in Pokemon college. I run a channel and would appreciate a follow. I have been doing Pokemon and sports cards. Thanks for all you're doing for the community. So El Cannon, definitely will check you out. Running a channel on I assume on YouTube. So and doing Pokemon cards and sports cards. So definitely will check that out and see what you're doing over there. And good luck with everything. And I hope that you're enjoying it, right? Like that's one of the most important things. Make sure you're enjoying what you're doing. But it seems like you are. So thank you for hanging out here in the PokeCave as well. So let's see. Let's see what the next question is on here. Robert P says chance at black label, BGS or PSA. Chance at black label, question mark, BGS or PSA. So black label meaning BGS, right? So if you don't, I'm not sure if you're familiar with it or not, but BGS would be the ones that have that black label option on the actual label. So like PSA, the highest you can get is a PSA 10, but like with Beckett, you can get a Beckett Pristine 10. And then the next level up is the Beckett Black Label, which is a perfect card. All 10s all around on the subgrades. So we have a question from Timothy T. Hey, PokeRev, you're awesome. My question is, if you had $1,500 as a new investor, which set would you pick up and invest in? So that's kind of like that's a pretty open-ended question there. You have $1,500. So with just like a $1,500 budget, you want to try to pick up the things that are going to be the best, like bang for your buck, if you think about it that way. So thinking about that, there's different avenues you can go down, but I find myself feeling the best with sealed products, and specifically products that are older than X and Y era. So moving into like black and white, diamond and pearl, and that kind of stuff. I would say maybe try to grab sealed product. And it really depends though. It's hard to answer, because then it's like, do you want to move things, like flip things quickly, right? Because if you have a $1,500 budget, you don't want to just have it sitting there in some item that's like a long-term item, and then you don't have any other capital to work with. So like you have to kind of allocate like different percentages of it to what you, so maybe like $500 for items that you want to flip, and then like $500 of items that you want to like hold longer term, like things like that. That's like more of like a sit down and talk one-on-one type of question to answer, where I'd have to ask a lot more questions to kind of dive into more. But overall, probably more of like older mid-level like sealed products, which would be what I tend to go for. Will this live be in your videos later? Would love to watch this later, but gotta leave the house now. Yeah, so anytime we do lives here, there's always going to be the live replay where you can actually go through and you can watch the entire thing from start to finish. So I'm gonna keep answering guys' questions on the live chat for now, because it's official. My Google question form is just down. Like this happened last time a couple hours into the live, where it just stopped working. Like it's just a loading bar on it, and I can't even pull it up at all. Maybe you guys are overloading my Google form with like so many questions and pictures that it's just like, it's just not working. I don't know what the case is, but maybe that could have something to do with it. So, but yeah, I'm going to answer some more questions on here for you guys. So, let's see what the next question would be on here. It's hard to read these on here. I'm not gonna lie, but I want to answer some of these, since I can't answer them on the form at the moment. Hey PokeRev, I got a question for you. Have you ever opened some French Pokemon cards in your life? No. So unfortunately, I've never really opened any French. I've opened German, Japanese, Chinese, but I've never opened up any French. But they do have some really cool stuff. Like you guys saw that theme deck earlier as well. So yeah, something else to jump into is like different languages. So they actually have really unique stuff in different languages. Like some blisters. I think that the Team Rocket actually has blisters for a different language, and you don't have them in English, which is like a cool thing to collect. But so basically, I'm going to move over again really quickly to eBay, and then we'll probably end it on this. But I want to do another like quick, like, let's look through eBay really quickly and see if we can find like any like things that are coming up here on new listings. And I'll probably end it after that. Just because like the Google Forms thing is it just doesn't want to work right now. But so I'm going to go to newly listed, and we're going to just do a quick look through and see if there's anything cool that popped up since this live, since the last time we did this. Usually what I'll do is I'll scroll through here. I'll just type in Pokemon. I'll go to new listed, and I will put on all categories as well, so we kind of can see like everything Pokemon related. And a lot of stuff that we've seen today hasn't been too super crazy, but you never know, right? We got a Minchino on there. Yeah, so really, normally what I do is like, if I don't see anything right off the bat, I'll usually go to sold, and I'll see like what has sold probably in the past hour since we started this, and see if anything like pretty interesting has come up or not. Like sometimes there's just not anything super crazy. I know it's a Saturday, so like I know some people are home, maybe people are listing, but maybe people are also like hanging out with family and friends. But then like the last thing I normally do would be to go through on here and go to the minimum pricing. So what we'll do is like I'll put in something like $300 just to see if like anything a little bit higher end has popped up that might be of interest. So nothing too crazy at the moment. Actually, ooh, this is crazy. Just as I thought there wasn't going to be anything crazy, there's something crazy. So 30 views an hour. This was literally just listed probably a few seconds ago. Original Pokemon cards, complete base set, Shadowless Charizard and Blastoise. $1,000 or best offer. We got a binder. So right now, I heard them say Shadowless Charizard, but I don't see a Shadowless. This is base unlimited Charizard. But There is an Alakazam that is shadowless. That is really cool. Blastoise Unlimited. Doesn't look like there's any errors on that one. Chansey Unlimited. Gyarados. Clefairy. Charizard. Hitmonchan is unlimited. Hitmonchan is shadowless. Got a couple unlimited cards there. Mewtwo's unlimited. Nidoking's unlimited. Ninetales is shadowless. Poliwrath is shadowless. Raichu unlimited. Got a Beedrill shadowless on there. So there's like a good mixture of regular base unlimited and shadowless in here. The Dratini is shadowless. Dugong is shadowless. Let's see what the War Turtle is. Any errors on there? No. Some more unlimited. It looks like a full base set, but the thing is they mixed in like, oh, we got a Pikachu shadowless, Yellow Cheeks. They mixed in like shadowless and unlimited. So this could have been like a binder that somebody collected back in the day when Pokemon first came out with base set and they were getting like mixture of base and unlimited. And there's like the Charizard, the Blastoise, and the Venusaur. But unfortunately, we don't have any back photos. But like something like this, you could take a closer look at. You could see like definitely edge wear on the front of this card. The Blastoise has like edge wear as well, and the Venusaur. So we're seeing like $1,000 or best offer, but it really depends on like what the cards would actually grade. So it's tough to say, but that's like a pretty interesting thing to come up here under the listed. And then of course we could also take a look at some other things. Like this Dark Blastoise is a new listing. I bet you this will have a lot of views. It's a first edition Dark Blastoise. It's got 15 views so an hour so far. I don't know how quickly that updates, but it looks pretty clean on the front. The back is pretty solid, guys. Wow. This is a clean card. So like these are the opportunities right here that are popping up. A Dark Blastoise from Rocket. And I would say, wow, that's really clean. There's some edge wear though. So, all right, so wouldn't be a 10. It's going to be like at the max, it could be a 9. So like this is what you would do right now. Is like 325 or best offer. So what I would do is I would first be like, okay, let's see what the best case scenario is going to be, which would be a 9. Dark Blastoise. If I can spell. PSA 9 first, Dark Blastoise. And then we go to, we go on here, right? And we can go to like sold. And we could see this one sold for about 385 or best offer, 300. So maybe the card's worth, wow, the card's only worth about, well, that's actually still pretty good nowadays. So, so in a 9, probably around 300 to 350, I would guess. So, I mean, they're pretty much on spot on here with the pricing. But, I mean, if you can kind of get, like, a lower price on this, maybe. But I would say this wouldn't be a 10, right? Because there's too much edge wear. So, they're pretty much spot on for a 9 on this. But, like, maybe you could work them down. And you can also see, like, the other thing I do is I click on the seller and I see what else they have. So, they have, like, a lot of other cards on here. Not a lot, but, like, half a dozen or more. So, that's interesting to see that in such a good condition pop up. And we'll do one more quick refresh. We'll answer another question or two, and that'll probably be it for this. But, okay, I just saw something big pop up on the top here. You guys want to check this out? This is a brand new listing, literally this a couple minutes ago. Shining Charizard Unlimited from Neo Destiny. It's at $390 on auction, or you can make an offer. You can see some scratches on there. Oh, wait, it's in like... Did they like okay, so this person actually really weird, but they put it in like one of those like things that Black Stars can come through, or like special cards. I don't think they sealed it in there, but I'm actually, it looks like they might have just placed it in there to protect it, but it's definitely got some wear going on with it. It's actually a little bit off. So if you look at the Charizard and you can see like the fire, where the fire is, you can actually see that the Charizard isn't like spot on where that fire and where that actual outline of the Charizard is. So if we pull up like another Shining Charizard, I'm actually curious to see what Charizard Destiny. So if we look at another one like this one right here, so that one's like on center, right? So you can see this is actually pretty interesting. Right, so this was the one that was just listed. I don't think I've ever seen this, but the actual like hollow part of the Charizard is off center of where the artwork is. So like you can actually see the flame, and then like this is like a one that's on center with it that it's actually lined up perfectly. So that's pretty interesting. But like other than that, we can go through and we can go to. I want to refresh it again because I just like it's a little bit addictive to see what's gonna pop up. Like a Ho-Oh. All right, I won't get into that, but we can go to sold and we can see anything that's sold recently for $300. So some Neo Revelation packs, some Charizards. That's that Black Label Zard that we just saw. Of course, the Nintendo Switch, if you guys don't know, is going for a lot of money because you can't find them anywhere. Even just a regular Switch opened up and used. But yeah, okay, so that'll be enough looking on there. I'll do a couple more quick questions here for you guys. But we have... Oh, I'm sorry. MB Pickles, I totally missed your super chat. I greatly appreciate it. I always see on Trainer Trey's lives as well. So an awesome member of the community. But MB Pickles, thank you so much. I pulled a hyper rare Charizard from Burning Shadows, and it was an error where you can see the HP through the black side of the card. Should I get it graded by Beckett or PSA? I think Beckett will grade it as an error. Oh, that's a good question. So you can see the HP through the backside of the card. That is, wow, that's really cool. I've never seen that before. Feel free to shoot a photo over maybe on the next live because I can't go in Google Form right now. But that's awesome. So PSA, yeah, they won't recognize it as an error, but you might be able to get Beckett too. They're more lenient on that kind of stuff. So might be worth checking out. But we also have a super chat that came in from Ride Morris. I have a Rainbow Rare Charizard and a Reshiram Rainbow Rare Charizard and the Braxton and a Shiny Charizard GX. Should I do my own PSA submission or service? So you could send them in yourself if you'd like to. It's not that difficult to send cards into PSA. So those are obviously worth sending into PSA for sure. So you could do the regular service. I think it's like $20 a card. You will get it back quicker, or you could sign up for a membership if you're planning on sending more cards out. So it is worth it for that. Memberships are usually worth it if you have at least like 20 cards or so, or you think you'll send at least 20 in, because you get a lot of perks with the memberships. So probably worth sending in yourself if you know how to do it. I'm definitely going to do a video eventually to kind of like help out and help out you guys figure out how to send cards to PSA. So Pokimane also with the super chat. If Pokemon collapses, I'm just going to resort to selling feet pics. Nah, just kidding. Love you, Rev. Keep up the amazing content. Love from Chicago. Thank you so much, Pokemon, for being here. Yeah, so it says Pokemon is in and all collectibles, right? They're all at an uptick, and everybody's wondering like, you know, what the future might hold for then. But that Burning Shadows Charizard is really interesting, and I would love to see a picture of that as well on next live. But yeah, guys, we're almost at like the 3-hour mark here, and I think that's probably gonna do it. So guys, if you did enjoy this live Q&A session, make sure you smash the like button. If you missed any of it, you can go through and watch the replay. The entire thing will be up as soon as this is over. Like I mentioned earlier, guys, throw in a comment in the comment section after this live, and let me know like some cool ideas you guys might have for live sessions where we go through, maybe help people with eBay and certain things like that, and kind of just grow as a community and grow with different types of videos that we throw out there. Again, guys, this is every Saturday morning between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. is usually when I start these live sessions. And other than that, guys, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Sundays, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time are the live booster box openings. We got one coming up tomorrow. It's going to be pretty exciting, so hopefully I'll see you guys there. Other than that, guys, hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you on the next one.